Physical abuse.
Okay, passed that one. So you had to think about it for a second. But anyway, let's move on from this.
No, I just thought it was kind of a silly question. That was all. But
Yo, what's good, everybody? What's going on, chat? How's everybody doing? Sorry, I am a tad bit late. Trying to get some things together before I started. She took it already. I saw Spider-Man a couple hours ago. Shit was fucking fire. All right, let's see what we have here. All right, what's going on, chat? What's going on? Bring this down. Live button. All right. I mean, we already got about 7 people in here. I give it about 3 more minutes, and then we can get into it. Yo, what's good, Sandra? How you doing? Let me see. I also need to bring up Discord really quick. Oh boy. I'll do this later. Yeah, I see. You got that smiling baby, which how is she doing? Everything is okay? Ready for the roast? Guys, am I that bad? Everybody just assumed that I'm going to just roast Pearl. I mean, even though I probably will. Am I that bad? What's going on, Zeno? I'm doing well, man. How are you? She's doing good. Just as happy as she wants to be. That's good. I'm so happy, Sandra. That's good. Let's see here. They made a new Spider-Man. Yeah, man. They made that. It was the another animated Spider-Man movie, and the shit was fire. They did like a phenomenal job. I really love that movie. Use the Hey, yo, Zeno, I appreciate the support. I really do. I'm trying to hit 5K by the end of the year. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I can do it, but that's just a goal that I have right now. And after 5K, I'm going up to 10. Like, that's what I'm going to set my goal to, because I feel like if I keep being as consistent as I am, man, I can do way more, get more views, get more subscribers too. Friend is trying to hit 7. That's what's up. I feel like as soon as you get there, the more subscribers you have, sometimes it's a little bit easier. Like I tell people this all the time. If you get 1,000, you can hit 2. If you get 2, you can get 3, as long as you stay consistent, like, and so on. You are not bad. She is. Yeah, she's yeah, Pearl is terrible. But we are going to get into it in a sec. Sure, what are these? Are these the 850s that I have? And someone else just subscribed. I heard the notification. I appreciate you, Zeno. Let's see. Let me see here. Astro A. Yes, the 850. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. I appreciate that, Empress Pooba. Your name is hilarious. Empress Pooba. All right. Appreciate it, Letitia. Thank you so much for the support. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Jesus Christ. Yo, matter of fact, we should like make a bet or something, because I just know that I'm not gonna last long. I don't know. I could. Let's see if I can last the whole time. I don't know. There's a lot more of this video. I only watched 25 minutes. For that video that I posted yesterday, it was only, like, I only watched 25 minutes. Sandra, yes, two dummies debating. But you know what's crazy, though? As much as, let me fix that. As much as I can't stand Ethan, he did eat her alive. He really did. Like, in that first 25 minutes, he ate her alive. Oh, no. Flintstones is most definitely not before my time. My bad, guys. I'm just trying to set up this capture device real quick, or get it out the way. No, Flintstones is not before. I was born in '94, so I basically caught the like the end of the Flintstones, but I still remember watching it for sure. Why is it not letting me change this? Properties. Where are you? There it is. Okay. I'm gonna do this desktop 3. Bam. Perfect. All right. Yeah, low key. Like, I cannot stand Ethan, but he really did eat her alive. All right, let's get into it, guys. Oh boy, I should probably start recording too.
Okay, that's refreshing. Tell me, what does red pilled mean to you? Because I've heard you use that phrase a lot. You're part of the red pilled community.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people. I will say a lot of people have their own definitions of it, so people use it for different things. But I would say it's viewing the world the way it's supposed to be, or like the way it is, not the way you're told it is. So, like, you know, for example, a lot of guys think if they treat a girl nice and give her flowers, that, you know, she'll essentially sleep with him. And then a lot of guys find out that's not true. And
I really wouldn't say that the majority of guys think that. I really doubt that. I think that guys do that just because they think that's what they're supposed to do, or they're just genuinely being nice. But I don't think most guys are around here saying, I'm gonna buy, you know, this girl flowers and she's obviously gonna want to sleep with me because I'm nice. I don't know.
so then they, you know, came together and realized that. So that's just one thing.
Is that true? Do men really believe that?
That's what I'm saying.
But what do you mean?
That if you buy flowers and be nice, she'll sleep with you?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah,
confident.
I don't think so. I don't think that's real.
No,
I think that's
it's not
like a
real.
really odd way to describe dating. It's just like men are nice guys and women
Well,
are.
I just think
it just seems very
I would say-
cartoonish. Like we're talking about real world stuff, and it's just you can't
I mean,
really.
I just think men don't expect like women to reproduce more with felons than non-felons. Like, I think that's a surprise.
Women reproduce more with felons
Violent
than
felons.
non-felons.
Yeah.
Can you provide?
I mean, like, think about it. Like, Ted
wait,
Bundy.
hold on,
No. You are no. This is one thing that pisses. Again, this really pisses me off about her. You cannot say something like that and then just try to skate by it. No. Tell me where the fuck did you get that from? That is a wild claim.
Well, yeah,
And she better not say I think, I feel, or no. She better give me a study, statistics, and I need to see them, or she needs to tell me where they're from.
what does that mean? So felons who are procreating have more kids in general than non-felons. What does that stat mean?
They have more children with felons than non. It's like, I don't remember if it's violent felons versus non-violent felons, but I just remember violent felons have more children than non-violent felons.
And so there's men who are looking at that and they're pissed.
No, not
because I've
pissed.
never
I
heard
think
that stat in my
surprised.
life.
I never heard that stat
I
either.
think just surprised.
Right? I've
Because,
never heard that stat.
Okay.
Real quick, FSC. Yes, when she sighs, that's how you know she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Every time she takes a break and then she sighs, that's the indicator that she does not know what the hell what the hell she's talking about at all. By the way, you're new to the channel. Hey, welcome, man, or woman. I don't know. I appreciate the
Is there
support.
a source for that? It just seems kind of an odd stat. Like, what does it prove? Felons have more kids than non-felons?
Well, I think the reasoning is because women want a guy that can,
What's going
like
on, Mike?
protect her, basically.
A felon?
Yeah.
That's a weird
Why do you think Ted Bundy had
What
like
the fuck did she
source
just
for
say?
that. It just seems kind of an odd stat. Like, what does it prove? Felons have more kids than non-felons.
Well, I think the reasoning is because women want a guy that can, like protect her, basically.
A felon?
Yeah.
That's a weird.
Why do you think Ted Bundy had like love letters?
Oh,
Because women found him physically attractive. I don't. Where is she getting this stat from? It's really making my head hurt.
well, that's a whole different.
Hold on. Matter of
weird-
fact, yo, real quick, I'm gonna just bring up another. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna bring up another window here, just in case that I need to do some goddamn research, which something is telling me I probably will. It's not letting me. Can I drag it over to this? Thank you. All right. Yeah, because something's telling me I'm most definitely gonna need to do some research while I'm watching this.
phenomenon about women being interested.
No,
Some
but
Kate
that's-
doesn't claim her.
niche
No,
of
but
women
that's the
involved.
point.
All
That's
serial
the point.
killers.
That's surprising.
Right, it is
Right.
surprising, but I don't think it's any interesting commentary on the dating scene that serial killers get love letters from freaks. You know what I mean? Richard Ramirez
well,
did too. All serial killers do.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
don't-
but the point is, it's one like it's not the same for women. It's just men.
So what is your point exactly? That
That's what I wanna know.
that what does that prove that felons have more kids than non-felons?
You know that a lot of times women pick the bad boys. You know, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Of
Okay,
having more
if that
kids?
is what she's basing this claim off of, is that women just like bad boys? Like, she's literally saying nothing here. I've never met one person who can say so much but not fucking say shit at all. Like, nothing came out of her mouth just now. She's just talking. She has no talking points.
Kids.
With, I mean, a guy that's a violent felon. You don't think? Okay.
And real quick, guys, keep in mind, I'm not saying that it's impossible for women to be attracted to criminals. That is very true. It happens. But I don't think it happens at the rate that Pearl is perceiving it, like, to be at all. Like, I know they have those websites where you can technically, like, marry a convict or a felon or whatever, like, and you can marry them while they're in jail. Like, and I know of somebody that actually did that, believe it or not. But yeah, like, I know there is, like, some sort of maybe it's a fetish, but it's not. It doesn't occur as often as she thinks.
Is there a source for that? It's
No,
just
she
a
does not
really
look up
weird
any of this
stat.
shit.
I'm just trying to grapple with it.
I can get it. In
Sure.
a second. if
Yeah,
you
that would
want.
be great. I mean, we can try to look for it too. I just want to hear what's.
It's in. I can show you where I found it. It's
Okay,
in this.
fantastic.
Mm,
Yeah, Casey Anthony got love letters apparently. So she was a serial killer, right?
Basically,
Oh, she killed her daughter.
Not
That's-
serial, just a one
so,
timer.
so Casey Anthony
the one
murdered her
timer.
daughter, and she was getting love letters too. She got letters proposing marriage. Don't you find that surprising?
yeah, that is surprising.
So in a
no,
sense,
it's not because people found her physically attractive. That is why. Just like women found Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer physically attractive, people found Casey Anthony physically attractive because sometimes that's all that they think about. That's it.
It goes both ways, kind of when you look at it holistically.
It does.
Yeah, no, I think it's more
Good shit,
so
though, Ethan,
for
for
women
making
pick
that
violent
point.
men more than men pick violent women.
Based on what?
What? Bullshit. Chat. How many of you right now, tell me, how many of you know of a dude who has an extreme, or ever, if you know a guy that has ever had an extremely violent girlfriend and they glorify her craziness, like, yeah, man, she crazy, but they stay with her and they say, man, she crazy, she got the best vagina or whatever. How many times have you heard that? You are out of your fucking mind. Oh man, it's like she has no real world experience at all.
I think you can just. I would just say, I would
Just
guess,
vibes?
I would guess that it's more common with women.
I don't
BetterHelp has
give a
made therapy
shit
more
about
financially
your
accessible
guesses.
because there are different tiers.
Because of that study versus like a fringe case. I would be surprised if women got the same amount of letters, but I could be
You
wrong.
might be surprised, but do you feel that sometimes you argue from emotion rather than like concrete facts? I find that when you talk about, and I've watched a lot of your videos,
Get her.
you say stuff that I don't think has much of a backing in reality. It's based on feelings, maybe
Get her.
instead of not emotions but feelings. You say, "I feel this to be true." Do you feel you do that a lot or no?
I try. I would say I'm a woman, so sometimes, yeah.
Okay,
Oh
interesting.
my fucking god, that is the biggest cope I've ever seen before in my life. Are you serious? Did she literally just use the fact that she had a vagina for being emotional and not backing up the shit that spews out of her mouth? Are you serious? The bullshit facts that she just randomly comes up with without providing a source. Are you fucking kidding me?
Fence.
Wow.
Hold on. Do you want me to find it or no?
Sure. Yeah. I'll give you a minute. That's totally fine. Okay.
She's not gonna find it because it
So why
doesn't
should I
fucking
engage
exist.
in a conversation with you at all if women are just emotional? Shouldn't I be talking to a man about this?
Probably.
Why do you
I
bother to
agree,
even have a
Mike. Extremely
platform?
bad
Shouldn't you
faith.
just concede to a man?
Yeah, probably. You
Right.
know.
So we got to look for a man to replace you. Don't you think?
No, not
You
not
don't.
really.
You don't think? Okay. But you do think women are more emotional.
Okay, I gotta find. Hold
Okay, go
on.
ahead. I'll give you a minute. Sorry, I won't.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to
No, it's all
talk to
good.
you and find it at the same time.
Bruh, she's
Yeah,
not
I'll
gonna
give you
find
a
it.
minute there. But it's fine too. We can move on. If I'll give you a minute, but we don't have to get stuck on it.
Okay.
What's good, Cammy? How you doing? We are waiting for Pearl to find a link
It's
that
fi- I
doesn't
mean, we can-
exist for a study
It's
that she
fine.
just
We
made
can
up.
move on.
Might be waiting a
Okay.
while.
I found it.
Oh, go ahead. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
there we go.
Oh, she found it?
What's it called? I'll pull it up.
Here. The link, he pulls up the study in this stream, so the link is on here.
Whose stream is it?
That's just shit men say. If she ain't crazy, I don't want her. Fuck that. I'm out the door. But I'm telling you, I have so many friends right now. I could call one of my homeboys up right now and say, how do you feel about crazy women? And they'd be like, they got the best vagina. I promise you. I could call one of my friends right now. I have a friend. I'm not gonna call him out by his name because we protect the innocent on here. I have a friend who stuck with a girl that was physically assaulting him and spat in his face, but her vagina was good, according to him. Come on, man. I will call this fool up right now, or one of them, somebody. I'm telling you.
It's Rolo's stream.
Rolo Tony
But
Brownstown?
Yeah.
He's a
He's
good-
great, actually.
I know you're a fan of him. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he's really nice.
Rolo seems like a nice guy.
I like his head wear.
I like when he rocks
Okay,
it.
Where do I send it to?
You can send it in the Zoom chat,
The Zoom chat, yeah.
or you
Oh,
could
it's
just
on
tell
my
me the
phone.
name of it and I can pull it up.
Okay.
Either
It's
way.
in Rolo Tomasi is offensive and vile. It's like 7 months ago. Yeah.
Wait,
I appreciate that.
she's
We'll look
pulling
into
up.
So if women
Oh
are
my
so
gosh.
emotional, do you think it's bad faith in terms of an argument to argue from feelings and to present feelings as facts?
Literally what you
Do you
just
think
said,
that's a
Michael.
bad faith way to argue or no?
No, I was kind of kidding. I was like
What were
joking.
you kidding about?
When I don't know, whatever you were asking me earlier.
Fuck out of
like,
here. She was dead ass serious.
Do
It-
you? I don't even remember. You said something like, "Do you think you shouldn't have a platform?" Or like,
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, I asked and you said, well, I'm a woman. Of course I'm going to. I asked you, do you feel that you make arguments based on feeling? And you said, yes, I do because I'm a woman.
"Oh yeah, I was kidding." No, I use No, I use facts to back up my arguments. Sometimes I'd say I'm wrong. Sometimes I think something and it's not correct.
If you guys, all right, quick chat. If you guys had to put a percentage on how many, like, if you had to put a percentage on how much she's actually wrong, what would that percentage be? I would say a good 85 to 90%. Like, a good 85 to 95 to a good 85 to 90% of her being wrong, and some of that is also being somewhat like disingenuous as well.
But I would say most of my opinions, I try to at least have a basis of fact. Yes.
Okay.
Some things, I mean, some things you just see in reality, right? I mean, like
Some things you
sometimes
just
you're
see.
gonna, yeah, I mean, you know, you
95%.
can
Look what Empress Pooba just said. Hate to admit it, but sex is better with crazy people. See, I'm telling you, like, this is a thing that people say all the time.
like some things you just learn from interviewing hundreds of people. You see patterns.
Right, but sometimes when you interview people, you interviewing specific people with specific experiences, you're obviously going to run into a bias.
No, I don't think so, because we do street interviews all the time too. So that's like random people on the street.
Okay, fair enough. So so there's the red pilled, which are people who see the world for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have blue pilled people, which I'm assuming is someone like me. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. But what does blue pilled mean?
People that see the world for how they'd like it to be, I guess.
Okay.
I don't talk much about, I guess, like blue pill, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We don't have to focus in on that. So I've noticed that one of the primary focuses of your content is kind of the problems facing men and how there's so much unfair societal pressures or norms or expectations on men. Why is it that you're so singularly focused on the troubles of men?
Great question. Do you know why? Because she is a true pick-me. Now, don't get me wrong. In most cases, there's nothing wrong with being a pick-me. If you want to be picked, that's fine. I mean, most women out here want to be picked and they want to have a husband. That is perfectly fine. But she is doing it in a way. Well, not only is she being a pick-me, but she's also kind of like a grifter as well, because she did not believe this. And this has been confirmed too. She did not believe this like 2 years ago. This is new. She totally did a 180 out of nowhere. Or 360, sorry.
Why am I focused on the troubles of men? That's an interesting way to, I guess, phrase my content.
Because she want one?
I would say I think it's unfortunate what happens to men in divorce court. So that's probably what I talk about the most. I think that men should have access to their children.
That's not what you talk about the most.
It's not.
You definitely talk about stuff like pay gap myth.
Get her.
You talk about men want younger girls. You talk about men are just doing what's in their nature. You talk about women who have higher body count are less desirable. I'll be honest. I've watched a lot of your stuff, and the vast majority is not about divorce court. It's about this kind of like dating coach stuff.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a dating coach, but okay.
No, but that realm,
What's
you know
up,
what I mean?
Tristan? How you
Like,
doing,
I
buddy?
don't mean you're a dating coach, but like that kind of realm, it seems that you're super focused on. So what is your interest in that? Manosphere, maybe that's a better term, manosphere stuff.
What is my interest? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, so that's what we
Okay.
talk about.
What is your interest in the manosphere? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. That is not an answer. That is not an answer at all. What? If people ask me why, I don't know, like, why am I interested in video games? I can tell you the exact reason why. Because I like the characters are cool, the stories are great, and my brothers got me into it when I was a kid. So therefore, I like video games. She just said, "Why are you interested in this?" Because I'm interested in it. Like, what?
Okay, that's fair.
No, it's
So what is, you say you're anti-feminism. Feminism was basically a mistake. So what is your problem with feminism? Let's start there. That's a good point. Right.
I think that feminism wants equality when it benefits us and not actual equality.
Feminism, and are you going back to the beginning of feminism? Like the whole history of feminism, like women's suffrage and everything?
Yeah, no, I don't.
You don't fuck with women's suffrage?
No.
Ethan, ask her what women's suffrage is, please.
You don't think women should get the right to vote?
No, I don't.
Okay, so are you serious or are you kidding?
No, I'm serious.
Okay, so women
Let's hear
shouldn't
why.
they shouldn't have the right to vote.
You didn't miss out on a lot,
Yeah.
Tristan, I promise.
Why?
No. Because men are signed up for selective service, so they're fined $300,000 if they don't sign up for selective service when they're 18.
Do you think women should be
so I think-
drafted into the army?
I think if we want the same rights, it comes with the same responsibilities.
Do you think
Wait. Time out. But what is the correlation between voting and possibly being drafted? Like what is the correlation there? What am I missing? And also, she keeps saying the selective service. The selective service and the draft are two different things. You sign up for the selective service when you are 18, but the draft is something totally different. What are you talking about?
Women should be drafted into the army?
No.
Okay,
No,
so then
that's my
there's a
point.
paradox.
No, but that's
there.
my point. I'm saying, like, let's make it
Like the selective service, the selective service puts you, like, it's basically a process to select those who will be a part of the draft. Like, there are two different things. Yeah, thank you, Sandra. You pay taxes, so therefore you can vote. It doesn't make any sense.
fair.
You don't believe. Well, listen, this is your perfect
So
world.
I'm saying that if we are going to vote, have the same cost, which is that men are put into selective service and women are not. And if I had to pick between the two, then I would give up the right to vote instead of sign up for selective service.
Okay, so
I'm not getting the correlation.
you're saying women should only get the right to vote if they sign up for selective service, but at the same time, you're saying women should not serve in the military. So in your world, women are just going to be disenfranchised because they're not going to be able to sign. They shouldn't serve in the military because they're not as good fighters, right?
No, I'm saying for me personally, I would not want to sign up for selective service if I had to pick.
So you think,
I would give that up.
You think women should be given the choice if they want to do selective service or not?
I think if we're going to vote, we should have no choice like the men do.
So women should be drafted mandatory into selective service, you believe?
No, that's
Okay, but don't you see the law? There's an issue. There's a problem here.
I said
about to be a lot of that going on.
If feminists want the right to vote, right, then it should come with the draft. It should come. I mean, it's not called the draft anymore. It's called selective service. Personally,
She's so stupid.
in Pearl's world, I do not want to be drafted. I do not want to be in selective service.
I know, but
if
I'm
I had
asking
to
you, like,
pick,
in general, in terms of policy, because obviously, I think it's safe to say women in general
Also,
want the right.
Stop. This entire conversation is triggering the fuck out of me, because when was the last time where we even used the United States used the draft? When was the last time? Vietnam? So what the fuck was that, like 50 years ago? Get the fuck out of here. There's probably not going to be another draft. Let's be honest here. There's not going to be another draft, and we have way more people in the army. That was the main reason for there being a draft in the first place. How many people are enlisted in the army? I'm just curious. Let's see. I'll type it in the chat.
Right. And so then, by your logic, women need to be entered into selective service. Right? But you don't think that should happen, or you think that's okay?
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Not you. I mean, in general, the women, because women want to vote. So how do we resolve this issue? Do they get?
In 2019, we had 1.3 million people in the military. Get the fuck out of here. We don't need, we do not need a draft.
Drafted like men?
I mean, I think it's unlikely that women will ever have the right to vote taken away. So I guess moving forward, maybe net taxpayers potentially you could do, but that's
Sorry,
a whole
net
that's a whole
taxpayers?
that's a whole nother conversation. But
Wait, what
no,
does
I
that
think
mean?
if we're gonna vote, I think that we should have the same responsibility as the men and be enlisted in selective service. So
Okay.
that's my
So you're
And
saying
you know what? I think before you get on live streams, you need to at least brush your hair, brush or comb it, do something with it. Jesus Christ.
women should also have to
It's
sign
really
up for
starting to
selective
piss me
service
off.
when
Like,
they turn
get
18,
yourself
like men.
together.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying if you're gonna be equal, make it equal.
Okay.
And for me, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. Keep me out of that.
Okay, so right. I understand that's your preference, but I'm just trying to understand like the policy that in your red pill, we're doing the red pill. We're seeing the world as it is.
No, I wouldn't assign that belief to like red pill. That's not really like a red pill belief. That's
Okay.
just mine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make a point about. So do you think having women in the army would weaken our military?
Ooh, good question.
Yes.
So then probably don't draft women into the army.
Yeah, but then take away the vote with it.
But
That's
you're not
fine.
giving that. That doesn't seem very fair. You
It's
see what I'm
not.
saying? 'Cause you say, well, you guys are weaker. You guys are going to weaken our military. So we don't want you in the military. But because you're not in the military,
You can't vote.
you don't get the right to vote. It's a catch-22. You know what I mean? So what do we do about that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think we should do.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, it goes back to, I just think that you have to have some skin in the game. And so it's like, if we're voting for a commander in chief, right, that's the person that decides if we go to war or we don't go to war. And so it's easy to,
Oh,
you know,
there she
again,
goes.
I think
she's taking deep breaths again. I told you guys, when she does that, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
that if you're going to vote, you should have the same responsibility as the men. And women don't want to do that. It's either we're equal or we're not equal.
Okay, well,
If we're
just to be
No taxation without representation. This bitch failed U.S. history. Fair.
If we're really equal, have the same responsibility. But again, it's equality when it benefits us.
well, but your logic doesn't even make sense. I mean, you're talking about, first of all, there hasn't been a draft in the United States in 50 years.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank
So
you.
if there was a draft, maybe we could have this conversation, but it just seems kind of silly. In 50 years, there hasn't been a mandatory draft. It just hasn't happened.
It's not gonna happen. Honestly, I feel like before there is even we even have the thought of another draft, by the time we even think about it, we'll already have like more drones in, like basically more AI to fight for us at that point before we even think about having another draft. So I don't know. Just a thought.
So, so why is it a big deal, I guess, about the selective service? Because there's not going to be another draft. You know what I
There
mean?
isn't.
There's enough people in the army. I don't think that there's going to be a draft. It's just not going to happen. And with the way technology is going, we're going to have autonomous robot fighters
God
before
damn
this.
it! Yo, Ethan is. God
a
damn
draft,
it! I'm
you know what I
good.
mean?
That's what I'm saying.
So why does it
Literally
matter? I
said
just don't see
same
the
thing.
point with the selective service thing.
I just think it's, again, like, women want all the rights without the
What other
responsibility.
ones?
If you don't think that there's going to be a draft, then equally do what the men do. Men
Well,
are
they
fined $300,000.
Well, they
if
don't
they're
have the
sign up for
option. They
selective.
don't even have the option right now.
Right. So give them the option.
Okay,
I'm just
let's give
saying,
them the
make it
option.
equal. Make it equal.
But
Not the option.
Okay.
That-
All right. You guys say that I roast. You guys say that I roast. Sandra just put in the chat, I mean, she built like a dude. She should enlist. You know how dumb you have to be to make Ethan look intelligent? Bruh, facts. I agree with all those sentiments. But if you think I roast people, Sandra is 20 times worse. She is 20 times worse. But it's so fucking funny.
has to be mandatory
I
if
know,
we're going
but
to make
you
it.
saying like women want the right to vote, but they don't want to enter in selective service, but it's not an option. So how do you know what all women want?
I don't know what all women want.
So then why are you saying things that are generalized all women?
I'm saying, no, okay. Because I'm looking at the policies that have been pushed. And I'm saying
By-
the policies are not, like, where are the feminists fighting for equality in this situation? Like, when
I
it,
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not that relevant, but also no women in the army is a kind of a byproduct of patriarchy because women are looked as that they'd weaken the military, as you point.
I'm wondering who is worse, Pearl or that guy that left Japan for being disrespectful. I don't know who that is. Please tell me more. Send me a link or something.
It out. Is that possible that it's men driving that policy and not so much women?
I didn't say women drove that policy. I said they don't try to make it equal. It's only equal when it benefits us.
Even if nobody's being actually drafted.
I mean, 50 years isn't, that long of. I mean, who's to say? You don't know, but
Fuck
okay.
out of here. Yes, it is.
50 years. I mean, the last mandatory draft was like during Vietnam, wasn't it?
Do you not think it should be equal?
Oh,
do you think that it shouldn't be?
you talk.
No, I think I think what you're saying is
You talking about Major Little Dick, MLD. Oh, you're saying that him. You saying he left Japan? Got you. Yeah, didn't he hit a chick over the head with a bottle or something? Yeah, I heard. You need to endure. Yeah, MLD. I know exactly who you're talking about. I talked about him so many times.
fair, but it's not making any sense. Like,
That don't
okay, sure,
know.
let's put women into selective service. Fine, I'm fine with that. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think everyone should sign up for it. And there's other ways that people can support the military other than being on the front line.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh wait, oh no, not him. It was another guy who got confronted by the Yakuza. Okay, yeah, you got to tell me more or something. But no, MLD. Yeah, he's that fat fuck. He has a nerve to talk about women's bodies when he's also built like SpongeBob. Fuck out of here.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
He was live streaming. I'm gonna have to look more
So,
into
what other rights do women want? You know what I mean? That are contradictory.
Okay, women want the right to not be a mother, but men don't have the right to not be a father.
that. Women.
So
You're
women can have a which I know it varies state. I'm in the UK, so I forget. Sometimes the US is different by state, but like in the UK, abortion's free up to 6 months, but a man can't opt out of child support. So it's like, why does he have the right to not be a father, but women don't? Or why do women have the right to not be mothers, but men?
But in what situation should a man be able to opt out of child support? Like, there is a lot of factors that would go into that, and I understand that there are a lot of women there are women, I don't know if it's a lot, that abuse the system, but that begs the question of like, how often does it happen? Like, I need a percentage. Like, I have no clue.
Men don't have the right to not be fathers. I don't think that's fair or equal.
Sorry, just to go back for a sec. So feminists
You
actually
didn't want
do
to be a father. Wear fucking condom.
They want the draft abolished. So their point is, let's not sign up for the service. Let's abolish the draft altogether. So they are fighting for equality. They are against the draft. There should be no draft. So men and women shouldn't be drafted. That is also equality, isn't it?
Get her, Ethan. Yes, that's
yeah.
very true.
Yeah, okay.
So
She had nothing to say. I didn't even think about that.
You accept the premise is wrong on that?
What's good, Taylor?
I don't. I mean, it's still not equal the way it is. But yeah, what they're saying.
No, it's not
would be
equal the way it is, sure. And the
Yeah,
feminists agree.
yeah, but
Feminists agree with you.
Oh,
Taylor, good
okay.
point.
I've never heard him talk about that, but
Do you listen to a lot of feminist ideology? Do you read books? Do you listen to lectures? How do you listen to a lot of that stuff?
So I talk to feminists all the time.
No,
Right.
no. Not you having random fucking people. Not you having random fucking people on your podcast. Actual feminists who have, and keep in mind, I'm not even like hip to a lot of like feminism, but when it comes to actual feminists, I mean feminists that have done like actual research, who are educated, not just random people or random women who just claim to be feminists that you talk to on your fuck ass, like crazy ass podcast. No, we're not talking about that. No.
I haven't seen you talk to an actual scholar once. You just talk to kind of random women.
Yo,
Right.
Ethan
That's
is in
fair to
rare
say.
form right now. And I do not like this motherfucker.
Right. So when you say you talk to feminists, you just mean like random women off the street. Not
Yeah,
like a
that's
scholar.
That say they're feminists.
Yeah.
doesn't mean
but it's,
anything.
But feminism
It doesn't
is,
count.
it's like a
It doesn't count.
It doesn't mean people
Well,
say.
you said you
people
know
can
what
say
you said
anything.
you know what feminists believe because you talk to a lot of feminists, but I'm talking about like
No, I said I've never heard them bring it up. So,
do you have any
Yeah.
interest in talking to feminist scholars who are more aware with like kind of what feminism
yeah, I actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Bro,
think that would
please
be
don't.
good.
You would
Send
fucking
them,
get
send them to the
cooked.
UK.
But they're in the UK.
No, I actually tried for some, but then they'll be like, "You're a hateful woman." Da 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 da. There's one, that's I can't even remember. Some blonde chick out here. Can't remember her name, but yeah, she didn't want to come on.
Yeah, I wonder why. You only had a fucking neo-Nazi on your podcast. I wonder why. I'm surprised anybody wants to come on. She's so fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that was her. That's what she looked like. I don't know her name. I forget.
But like, I mean, my point is like when you just bring a random
Appreciate
girl
it,
and they
Zeno.
say, "Yeah,
Check
I'm
it
a
out."
feminist," it's kind of like the Steven Crowder changed my mind versus like actually talking to someone who's involved in like the scholastics, the academia of
Said you couldn't get through this video by yourself. That's why we getting through this shit together, bro. Hey, we all in this dumb shit together. All right, somebody got to talk about this stupidity.
what feminism means historically in modern day and previously. So the level of discourse you would have is obviously different. So so feminists are in favor of equality though. So I don't know if that's interesting you or not. You don't believe me.
I'll take your word.
You know what? I would have so much respect for her if she just said, "I didn't know
You can trust
that."
me. I'm a man.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. We're talking about feminism. So what other? So you were talking about divorce court. Sorry, I know you were making a point. So let's go back to that. You were saying that women can decide to terminate a pregnancy, therefore they can choose to be a mom, but men cannot decide that, and they don't get the choice to be the dad.
Or
To
wear a
not be a
condom.
dad.
Right. So do you think that like? Do you not think that the idea that the baby, obviously the reason for that, right, which we both know, is that because the baby's inside the woman's body.
I don't think that matters.
Woo.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, personally, I'm pro-life, so I don't believe in abortion at all. But again, it's the double standard. It's like the women have a choice, but men do not have a choice.
sure. No, I see that there is a sense to that which is unfair.
Please let's unpack.
Although
this.
there are a lot of single moms, as you pointed out.
Yeah, that are on child support. Not all, but
Well, men have the choice in the sense that they can just wear a condom
I've been saying this the
right.
whole time.
if they don't want to be a
have
father.
yeah, right. But women have the choice to go on birth control.
Okay.
Women have the
but
choice
ultimately,
to take a Plan B. Women have the choice to get an abortion. Women have the choice to, take the morning after pill. Women have the choice. You've like IUD. There's a million pills.
right, but those will have to do with pregnancy. But I'm
Right.
saying,
So
if
And
a
women
man,
also can require men to put on condoms or not put on condoms.
it has absolutely nothing to do with pregnancy, but it's her argument that it's not fair because like women have more options like when it comes to contraception. Hold on, what was that last part?
have the choice to, take the morning after pill. Women have the choice. You've like IUD. There's a million pills.
right, but those will have to do with pregnancy. But I'm
Right.
saying, if
And
a
women
man,
also can require men to put on condoms or not put on condoms.
Women can't require men to put on condoms or not. I'm sorry. You guys talk about accountability so fucking much, but are you telling me a guy doesn't have to face, like, he doesn't have to deal with accountability when it comes to, like, going inside a woman raw? Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Women can also require that the men that they sleep with wear condoms.
Right, but if
So
it's
that's-
inherently,
I mean,
unless
if
they
it's
are
inherently unfair to men,
Mm-hmm.
the easy solution is just it kills all this discussion is men just put on condoms when they have sex. Therefore, That.
Well, you can also say women close your legs, like.
Yeah, but you're the one saying that it's unfair for men. That's my point. You're saying men
No,
don't
I'm
have a
saying the
choice.
women. I'm saying
Exactly.
women have like 10 choices. The men have.
But that's just biology.
The men have condom or no condom, which again is a choice that both of them make because the women can require that the men wear condoms too.
Right.
But you're only putting that on
But
the
it's
men.
in the men. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm saying
Once the baby is conceived,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then the man has no choice, where the woman has a choice.
Okay, so let's just talk about that then, because so it's your opinion that if a woman is pregnant, the man should be able to decide for her to have an abortion.
I'm pro-life, so I would ban it altogether. My point is the double standard, where a man is legally obligated to pay child support and will go to jail if he doesn't, but the woman has the choice to not be a mother through abortion.
I know you're against abortion, but I just want to know what you mean. So let's just say we're trying to make it equal for men. So should men be able to decide for women to have an abortion if she's pregnant?
I think that men should be able to sign off on child support.
Okay, so if they say, "Hey, I don't want anything to do."
That
with this
doesn't make any sense though, because if I have an option to opt out of child support, then I'm going to do that. Like, what are you saying?
baby,
Yeah.
then the woman can decide to have it, but the father will have no obligations.
Yes.
And you think that's better for society?
No, I think that's equal. That's more fair.
Okay, so you're more interested in fairness than the welfare of society as a whole?
No, if it was up to me, if we wanted to go what's good for society, I don't think abortion should be legal.
No, I know. We're having
so
a
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
I'm saying if you want to make it fair, like, I don't think that's fair that the woman, after she gets pregnant, so they both make the irresponsible decision, right? Because you'd agree it's irresponsible if it's an unplanned pregnancy that the woman, had sex with a guy without protection, right? We'd agree?
And vice
Yes?
versa.
Yeah,
No?
yeah.
Okay. So you would agree that's equally irresponsible when it first happened?
I don't know, guys.
Although
Like,
I
I got
guess-
quiet for a second because I'm really trying to focus on what point she's trying to make, but I don't know. Like, I'm trying to see if she can get there.
By your logic, it would be more irresponsible for the men because he has less choices. But yeah, they're both doing something.
Good point. Good fucking point.
No, but yeah, they're both irresponsible. So my point is, after that happens, women have the choice to not be a mother, but men don't have the choice not to be a father. At least, if they don't pay child support, they can go to jail.
Right, because that's for the benefit of the children, which is what's the most important thing.
Yeah, but is it for the benefit of the kid to kill him? Like,
Say what?
Huh?
dude, it's not for the benefit of the kid. Like the woman can make
Wait,
a
what do you
selfish
mean? To kill who?
I mean, I'm pro-life,
to
so again, yeah.
abort the baby.
So so if we're gonna go for the benefit of the kid, like, if your argument is let's do what's best for the benefit of the kid, the benefit of the kid is not killing the child,
Is
right?
not
I mean,
to
and
kill
for me,
them.
like, I believe it's a kid, right? You might not.
Oh,
but
what's that
I
have to
do.
do with the fairness to the man? I don't understand that.
Bruh.
You don't understand. It's not fair, again, that men have the choice, that men do not have the
No,
choice
I
to not
understand
be
what you're
fathers,
saying, but
when
what-
women, yeah.
But then, okay, whatever. We're arguing in circles a little bit. Let's talk about abortion then, since you're against abortion. I'm assuming your stance is abortion should be off the table in any situation.
Yes.
So if a dad rapes his daughter, then she needs to give birth.
Wait.
to that.
Okay, so Ethan just gave a very extreme example, right? But this actually happens, and a lot of the times these laws are in place to fit some of these more rare occasions. So I can tell you exactly what Pearl is going to say. Well, why are you going to the most extreme right now? Because shit like this does happen. So are you going to say, I will respect Pearl so much more if she says, if a man rapes his daughter, that baby still needs to be born into this world. Like, I would respect her so much more, because she is that means she'd be standing firm on her stance.
Baby.
That's less than 1% of cases. Why
But
do you guys always
no.
bring up I know,
No, but
why
that's
do you guys
important,
always
Pearl.
bring up the most like
Because
fringe
if
exceptions?
you're going to
What
have
did
a
I say?
conversation
What did I
about
say? What did I
difficult
say?
things, let's.
Wait.
If you're
So-
going to have a, what's that
I
have to do with the fairness to the man? I don't understand that.
Sorry, I got distracted.
You don't understand. It's not.
You're against abortion. I'm assuming your stance is abortion should be off the table in any situation.
Yes.
Oh.
So if a dad rapes his daughter, then she needs to give birth to that baby.
You know, that's less than 1% of cases. Why
But
do you
that's-
guys always
no.
bring up?
It doesn't
I know,
matter.
but
why
that's
do you guys
important,
always
Pearl.
bring up
What
the
did I
most,
tell you?
like,
Because-
What did I
fringe
tell you?
Because if
exceptions?
you're going to have a conversation about
Okay.
difficult things, let's talk about the difficult things. This
But
is
I'm
why the
saying
laws
let's
exist.
talk
Bro, Tristan, no, I'm not even a medium. Let me tell you something. These people are just so fucking easy to read, and they say the same things over and over again. I just know how she thinks. Okay, I just know. And every time someone brings up, because a lot of these conversations and instances, they like a lot of them have nuance, right? But they never want to address the nuance. Everything is just like super black and white with them. That's how they all think. It's so annoying.
The
But
laws
I'm saying
exist to
let's talk
protect
about
that
the
little
most-
girl.
I'm saying let's talk about the most common thing.
That's
first,
easy.
and then
That's
we can,
easy.
But I'm saying
That's
so
not
we
what's
can, we
difficult
can-
about this.
Yeah.
I'm saying we can get to the difficult things later. But it's like, why do you guys bring
Because
up the
that's
most
the interesting part. I'm
fringe
telling you, the
case?
law is there
And
to
and she said the same thing about abuse in marriage. She said the same thing. She was like, well, why are we talking about the cases that are rare? Why don't we talk about the things that happen more often? Because it's 20%. Okay, a percentage is there, so that means it happens to some degree. It happens more than what you think. Now, this one, I understand that it is probably lower than 1%. Like I get it. I really do get it. But still, I think what Ethan was doing is he was just trying to basically see if her conviction was there. Like, if she would have like stood strong and said, "Yeah, she needs to have that baby," Pearl would have got points for sure. Yeah, Sandra, it's like 25 to 27%. It's very common, but she
on those
thinks
fringe
it's super
cases.
I'm saying,
I'm
why
telling
don't we
you why.
start?
And
why
most
don't we start
thank you,
with
Sandra.
the
I said the same shit in my last video. Exactly.
majority of
Didn't we
abortions?
just do that?
You think? Okay.
What do you want to say? You don't agree with abortion. So, like, if a men and women have sex and they're both being irresponsible, then sure, I understand. You say abortion's bad because we don't want to murder babies. That's not controversial. That's easy to understand. The point of
Right.
these laws is to protect the little girl who's raped by her dad. These are the challenging issues. So this is why I ask you about it, because this is the byproduct of your position of no abortions are allowed under any circumstance. So if you're willing to take that position, you can't just dismiss this because you are saying that this girl who's raped by her dad should have the baby.
I just think we
You need to
spend a
answer
lot
that.
of time. I just think I will. Hold on. I just think we spend a lot of time arguing about fringe cases that are less than like 0.5%.
Those are the
of
important
abortions.
cases. That's
And
why
I
we talk
don't
about it.
think those are as important as the 99.5% of cases. And so
Oh
sometimes
my gosh, you stupid, you fucking idiot. All of it is important. All of it is important. Why would you make a decision without thoroughly thinking about every nuance in every situation that could possibly occur? You know, what are you talking about? It's
I think
easy
it's a
talking
bit
about the easy
disingenuous
shit.
to say, here's this extreme fringe case that happened. And I don't think you don't make a law for the exception.
Yes,
Like
you do.
you don't make laws. The general law is not for the exception; it's for the rule. Like why
That's
would
not
you
an
go through-
exception. Why is that an exception? Or I mean, exceptions are important to the law.
Okay,
That's the
okay,
whole point.
Wait, do you not think it's an exception? Like a 13-year-old girl getting raped by her? I don't know what you can say on YouTube.
Yeah, you can
but,
say
like,
whatever you
getting
want.
raped by-
I don't
okay,
think
we don't.
I don't think raped is gonna.
Oh, we stay
trick
away
the
because
bots. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But do you not think that's an exception?
And by exception, but
It's
well,
not
she was
common.
raped. What do you mean by exception?
Right? Like, do you think it's common?
No, of course it's not common.
Okay,
But it
that's
happens.
my point. Like we waste.
Do you think that it's less
So much
important?
time.
Do you think it's less important because it's not
I think
as
it's
common?
more. I think it's more important to talk about the 99.5% of abortions.
That's easy. That's an easy conversation.
Yo, Anthony.
Not-
I call
like,
him
I
Anthony,
get your
damn,
position
my boy
there.
must be thinking about
Yeah.
me. Ethan.
But law. But
but
listen,
to-
you can
but to
write.
answer-
to
but
answer-
Pearl, you
yeah.
can write
Ethan is
exceptions into laws. That's why they exist. Because why should that girl who's raped by her dad forced to give birth to that baby because you didn't want to have a conversation about her.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would still make it illegal, to be honest. Because again, I think you either think it's a life or you don't.
No. See, I don't even believe her now. I feel like she doesn't even believe the shit that she's saying now. No, no, it's too late. It's too late. She didn't stick firm.
So
Matter of fact, if she just said, yeah, that kid needs to have that baby, Ethan probably would have moved on.
if you think it's a child, you're never gonna encourage killing a child under any exceptions. So
Right. Right. And that's, I guess, where the big difference comes between abortion,
Mm-hmm.
people who are for and against abortion, is that we disagree on where life begins, essentially.
Right.
But ultimately, what quality of life do you expect this child to have from like a 13-year-old girl who's raped by her dad?
Another good point.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Is a lower quality life less valuable? Like, that's almost saying if you are in a bad situation, your life is less valuable than someone who isn't. And that's kind of a tricky argument.
Not less valuable, but I mean, if we're
But one should be aborted, one shouldn't. So one should be in society, one shouldn't be in society. I would say that's less valuable.
well, it's more about you were talking about fairness. You were interested in the idea of fairness, right? Instead of the welfare of society. So let's talk about fairness. You know what I mean? Is it fair to the little girl that she was forcibly impregnated by her dad?
Right, but is it fair? Is it fair to the child?
The child is not
So who's-
here.
Like, that's like we could talk
A
about
13-year-old
fairness,
is a
then
child, by
you
the way.
know.
She's 13.
Facts.
She is a child.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's horrible, and I think there should be the death penalty for rapists. But yeah, I'm sorry, like I don't believe in abortion. And again, to me, I think that's a child, and I just can't advocate for the murder of a kid under
Okay,
any
that's fair.
circumstance.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
What about situations where, like, 12% of abortions are related to health crises where there's a chance the woman might die or the baby might die or both? Your thoughts on that?
I don't know enough about those situations to really have an opinion on it. I would probably guess that they would likely both die in those situations. So
Sometimes
No,
it's just the mom.
maybe that's an exception.
no, that's I think it really does depend, but I think technology has advanced so much to a point where one of them can be saved, or at least they have a choice. It doesn't happen as likely where women lose their lives due to childbirth, but it still happens. Matter of fact, I should probably look up that percentage, but it for sure does happen. At which rate, I have no idea, but I wouldn't assume that both of them would probably die. Usually it's like a choice, right?
But I don't know enough about that stuff.
Right. Well, we can use our imagination just for the hypothetical conversation where there's 12%. I'm telling you, there are 12% of abortions are related to health crises. So if it's the baby lives but the mom dies, what do you think should happen in that situation?
I don't know.
Okay. The reason I'm putting your feet to the
Damn.
fire on this is because you think you says very specific.
Okay, so this is provided by the CDC. The maternal the maternal mortality rate for 2021 was 32.9 deaths per 100,000 live births, compared with a rate of 23.8 in 2020 and 20.1 in 2019. Jesus Christ. So it's way higher than I thought. 32.9 deaths per 100,000. I mean, it's way more than what I thought. I thought it was way less than that. It's still not that much, but it's way more than what I thought. So it can for sure happen.
Specifically that abortion should be outlawed in all situations. So of course I'm testing that.
Yeah, I could maybe see an exception for the life of the mother, but
Worried texting won't be as fun if you switch to Android.
Let's see.
It's all good, with more ways to connect.
I keep forgetting to download these damn videos. Yeah, Sandra, and that's fine.
I've heard-
like, I have no problem with people who are pro-life, right? Because I get it. I mean, I'm pro-choice, but it's fine. Like we can have different thoughts, but when you are shaky on your convictions, like that's when I start looking at you sideways. Like matter of fact, if she said what you just said, Sandra, like I'm pro-life with a few exceptions, if she just outright said that, I would have been like, cool, but that wasn't the case.
Like I don't want to quote this because again,
she's fucking stupid.
it's just something I've heard.
An
I've heard it's
actual
not
moron.
as common as people lead you to believe, and like sometimes those stats are manipulated. But I don't.
Yeah, but
I
the
don't
commonness doesn't really matter. It's more about the. I think the exceptions are interesting. I disagree. I think when you
Sorry,
say
guys, I'm eating
why are we
candy.
focusing on the exceptions, I think that's a way for you to try to dismiss difficult questions.
Yeah. I just think it's like silly when 99.5% of abortions are not the exception.
And she's going to keep
so.
repeating herself.
So you don't, but that doesn't make sense. I mean, why don't you care about the situation of everybody else? Just because it's the exception.
I just think you should spend more time debating the most common thing. So that's, my opinion.
Okay. Very good. So we talked about feminism. The problem with feminism.
Also, shout out to Ethan, and I hate that I'm agreeing with this man at all, but he is exhibiting a lot of patience because he sees that the conversation is literally going nowhere and they're just going in circles at this point, but he has enough patience to be like, okay, let's just move on to the next thing because we aren't going to get anywhere.
Is that women want equality, but they don't really want equality. They need to sign up for the military, which feminists want to abolish, the draft. And then we're talking about reproductive rights, where the women get all the choice and the men don't. Is there any other ones?
I'm sorry. I was reading something. What'd you say?
Wow.
Is there any other examples
Mad
of the reproductive rights and voting/draft that shows that feminism was a mistake or that feminists are disingenuous or something like that?
I would just say like there's just a lack.
What's up, Naomi?
The biggest one I would say is divorce court. 90% women get custody 80 to 90% of the time. I think 90% of alimony payments are.
We already talked about this on the last video, but alimony is not. It doesn't happen as often. Like I forgot the percentage, but I did say it in the previous video. It doesn't happen as often at all. I don't know why the talk of alimony keeps being brought up because it just does. The percentage is so low.
Are awarded to women.
What does that have to do with women's suffrage, though? You said you criticized the whole thing going all the way back to its inception.
I thought you asked other double standards. No.
Well, I asked you what's your problem with feminism.
Mm-hmm.
In general, we can move on though. I have a good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you talk a lot about the pay gap.
Right.
The pay gap is a myth.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, because women don't do the dangerous jobs in society. So, like, I just think the pay gap, the majority of the
Wait. Time out again. Okay, so she basically said she feels like the pay gap is there because women aren't doing the most dangerous jobs in society. But do the most dangerous jobs even pay the most? A lot of them don't pay that much. And a lot of the times, like, women are obviously in more so like white collar jobs, and they have like really higher titles than someone that is just like a construction worker or something. They get paid more. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Because a lot of these dangerous jobs do not pay that much. I mean, maybe somebody who's like a fucking, I don't know, working with oil or something. I don't know.
time, the majority is women making an excuse. Yeah, just excuses. Poor me. When?
Do you realize
when?
you're arguing from emotion right now?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Oh, I just
Damn.
wanted to point that out. But yeah, go ahead.
All right.
It's just
asked
important
what
to
I
know.
think. You asked what I think.
Well, the pay gap is more concrete than, I mean, I asked what.
I mean, when you take into account the number, women work less hours.
Right.
Don't do the most would you say that's true? Women work less hours?
Yeah, statistically that's true.
Would you say it's true that we don't do the most dangerous jobs in society?
Yeah, statistically that's true.
Okay. Would you agree that the majority, if you look at female millionaires, the richest women came from divorce?
Okay.
True or not true?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I think so.
Okay. So what are we complaining about?
What does that have to do with the pay gap? Any of that?
Because all of those you don't think working less hours contributes to getting paid less?
Yeah, but you know the pay gap. Excuse me. Sorry, I've got phlegm in my throat. So what you're doing is you're misrepresenting what the pay gap is. You understand that? The pay gap, when it's analyzed by economics, economists, and the U.S. Department of Labor and such organizations, they do controlled analysis where they eliminate all these factors. For example, ones you listed of women tending to work.
By the way, I was looking it up, and yeah, the alimony figure now is closer to 10%. In the 1960s, it was 25%. And I'm using the same article that I used in my last video if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, so it's not that often.
In lower paid fields, they eliminate women working less. They eliminate for when women take maternity leave, all this kind of stuff. And
Cammy,
even when you
that
do
is
a
illegal.
controlled analysis where you eliminate that, there's still a big pay gap.
That's not true.
Okay, so I will say the pay gap, the pay gap is not as big as it used to be. I think it's around like 3 to 5% now. So, but either way, there's still some sort of gap there that is present. But I don't think it's as prevalent now as it used to be, like in the past.
Okay.
Wasn't it like 3%? Last time I checked, it was 3%.
Oh, so there is a pay gap.
Right, there is a pay gap.
3%.
So, but it's not a myth.
It's a gap.
3%.
Yeah, but the number they used to push was like 77 cents to the dollar.
But that's what it is without the. It's about 20%
Correct.
without the
Correct.
the
Correct.
control. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I mean, when women, like, I just think if we wanted to be equal, then do the same jobs men do.
But there
And
is
we
a
don't-
buy. But that's interesting because you
don't
admit
choose
there
to
is
do
a
that.
there is a pay gap. 3%. I mean, I wouldn't want to work for 3% less.
Yeah, I mean, if you think that's because of gender, but it's also because women are more agreeable. It's like 70.
That's included. That's part of the
women-
control.
Okay. I mean, I don't think 3%
I
you can
can't
really
comment
say that's
'cause I have
just
no
because
idea.
of gender.
Well, I did some research on this. The Department of Labor published an in-depth report. This is under Trump's administration in 2019. This is from the U.S. Department of Labor. I can link you the study if you want. It's called Gender-Based Pay Disparity Study. The research team found that the raw gender wage gap was 17.4%, and the medium was 20%. The raw wage gap increased actually between 50th and 75th percentile and remains the greatest at the highest percentile. In addition, the research team found that the importance of human capital varied across wage distributions and part-time work as well as female-oriented occupations. The updated result explained about 20 to 70% of the raw wage gap over the wage distribution, but it left an adjusted wage gap of 10 to 15%. That was in 2019,
Okay.
according to the U.S. Department of Labor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to look at that.
Really
but
didn't
the
know
stuff
that.
I've seen, it's very small. It's like 3%.
What stuff have you
Oh.
seen?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I can send it to you.
Sure.
Okay.
But I just gave you a pretty concrete. I mean, the U.S. Department of Labor. Do you consider that a credible source?
Yeah. I mean, if that's true, it's just a lot of times like there are like parts of the study that they don't talk about. So, like even on this is what I was looking at.
You know
earlier.
what? I find it very fun. It's so funny that she's saying that now. There's just so many parts of the study that they don't talk about. But if she gives these random ass studies or facts and figures that just come out of her pale ass, it doesn't matter. Like she doesn't want to talk about, you know, they don't talk about the other thing. Like I just find it so funny. Like she does this shit when it benefits her.
Like even on this is what I was looking at
So many
earlier.
different
Like
things
they're
that they don't
saying
talk about, that
the
they don't
stat you
account
gave
for.
earlier, 12% of abortions are not done on the surgery table of the emergency room. These cases are overwhelmingly doctors advising abortions ahead of time in case there are risks for the mothers in pregnancy. Also, that 12% number they give is highly inflated. And so it's like, it's just a lot of times there's more to it than just like a number.
Now
you're
there's
giving
more
me,
to it.
but
Yeah, what does
you
that
know.
have to do with the pay gap? I'm confused by that.
No,
She was just
the
giving an
point is
example.
that like a number you gave me earlier, like there was more to it.
Which number? Which one? I'm sorry. Go ahead. We'll unpack that.
The 12% of abortions are not done on the surgery table of the emergency room. These cases are overwhelmingly doctors advising abortions ahead of time in case there are risks for the mother in pregnancy.
That sounds reasonable to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, a doctor is qualified to say this baby is going to put your life at risk. I would trust the doctor to say that, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Like, why
but they're
wait till
saying,
why
they're,
wait
saying
till
it, they're saying that number's inflated.
Who's saying they didn't say that. That what you read did not say it's inflated.
No, I said also that 12% number they're giving you is highly inflated.
Based on what? Because what you just read to me doesn't disprove what I said at all. It actually makes perfect sense.
No, but they're saying it's inflated. I don't know.
They did not say that.
Who's they?
Yeah, they didn't say that.
That's who is they?
So here,
Who's they?
Why she being
It's
all
just
weird?
someone I do research with, so it's
So just someone.
yeah. Don't.
that's good. Okay, that's
Interesting.
fair. That's fair. Don't push, right? Here's an
Taylor, you
interesting
said it's
analysis.
Rolo?
I thought maybe you'd be interested.
Why do you think it's Rolo?
Women don't do the dangerous jobs. Women are overrepresented in healthcare. You know that probably, right?
Yeah, it's the number one employer is nursing.
Then hopefully you can explain to me why, when you look at the pay of women versus men doctors, look, you can see this graph. There's a huge disparity of the average wage of male doctors versus female doctors. You can see here, and even this is from 2022, last year. This is again from the Physician Compensation Report.
Oh, she did mention him.
Male doctors make on average $285,000
So wait, time
per
out,
year.
time out.
Female,
Wait, so you guys think Rolo Tomasi is literally feeding her fucking facts and figures right now and statistics? He's basically telling her what to say. Is that what you're telling me right now?
male doctors make on average $228,000 per year.
She said my research partner. She also references.
So this is the woman's field,
she
and
did.
yet they're still making significantly less than their male
Okay, if
counterparts.
that's the case, that is fucking
Okay,
hilarious.
does it say why?
It really wouldn't surprise
No, this is
me
just raw
either.
data. This is just raw data.
I mean, you'd have to look at why. So
So we could justify this by saying
I mean, if women work less hours.
no, but work less
That's
hours.
what I'm asking. That's
no,
what
this
I'm
is
asking.
this is controlled. They're working the same hours. They have the same qualifications. Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe they are in that field. I don't know.
Okay, so the wage gap is more complicated, perhaps, than saying it's a myth.
I mean, for sure.
I
don't know.
It's possible.
Okay,
It's possible.
that's
I
nice
was
to
about to
hear.
say you take it.
So
easy.
I would recommend, though, when you go out
Take that.
and do these shows and stuff, because when you talk about the wage gap, you're very adamant about it. Like, oh, this is a myth, and this is why, and you extract a lot of meaning from it. So I would recommend potentially approaching that topic with a little more nuance in the future,
God.
especially
What
if you're
the hell?
saying,
Not even just that topic. All of her topics. All of the topics. Everything that Pearl talks about. Everything needs to be she needs to look at everything, assuming that there's some sort of like nuance to it. Because it's true. Again, the world isn't just black and white. There are so many gray areas. Jesus Christ.
well, yeah, maybe I'm wrong about this.
I
But here's an excerpt so we can kind of see how you talk about these issues. Here it is.
think in 2022, any girl that complains, I'm not talking about race because that's the first thing people always bring in. I'm talking about female to male. I think in 2022, if you're complaining about the pay gap as a woman, you're probably just lazy. I have never had a problem getting the same pay as a guy. One issue is that women
Now, aren't her parents rich?
So you kind of agree that women who complain about pay are just lazy?
Yeah, the majority of the women complaining about this stuff. Yeah,
what do you mean majority?
Of the women.
What do you mean
Wow.
majority
Okay,
of
so
women?
now that you guys say that, I see that she's been looking down a lot at her phone. You probably somebody's most. If
The
it's not
majority of the
Rolo, it's
women
somebody.
complaining about this
Based
stuff
on what?
are
Majority
just
of women.
whiners. Just what I see, whiners,
What you
big
see?
whiners. Yeah, I mean, because women, it's like go.
You're arguing from emotion again.
Get her.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you're gonna say every time you
Get
don't
her.
agree with me?
Oh no, you literally
time
are
you do
just
that.
saying stuff.
Yeah.
Get
It's not that I disagree. I'm just saying if we want to have a conversation about this stuff, it'd be better if we don't argue from
FFC.
emotion. And
She
say,
doesn't have a fight. She doesn't have a dog in this fight. Then, if she worked for her fucking parents, not every single one of us have the same luxury. She does not have a dog in this fight. Shut the hell up, Pearl.
feel that all women are complainers because that's not a productive point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still think that most women that complain about the pay gap are just whiners. They're big whiners. And I have never had trouble getting a job. I've never had trouble getting the same pay as a guy. And I think that in 2023, it's just a bunch of excuses.
So what's your experience in the work? You use your own experience
A 10-bedroom
as an
household,
example
that's
of
crazy.
why women pay gap doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm not blind.
Do
Like
you,
you can.
well, hold on.
you
What's
can
your
go.
experience in the workforce?
I always had a
Please say you worked
job
for-
from
yes, please
like
say you worked
after
for your
high
parents.
school in the summers. And I worked in corporate America, and then I did
For your parents.
How long did you work in corporate America?
a couple of years.
A couple of years. I have
Yeah,
it was 1 year.
I'm only 26. you
Right,
know?
you're only 26, and therefore
Yeah, so you don't have
I
enough
wouldn't
fucking
put you
experience.
and you have maybe 1 or 2 years working in corporate America. Do you think that your experience is ample to say I've seen that women get paid equally to men? That seems disingenuous based on 1 year or 2 years, and you're only
Exactly.
26 years old.
Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Right. Okay. Okay, but I think we've established a little bit, at least you've conceded a tiny bit to me, that the wage gap is perhaps more complicated than yes or no.
If what you're showing me is real, you did this to someone else, but then there's like something else to it. But if
No.
if what you're showing me is true,
Yeah, it's all true. This is all sourced.
okay.
Yeah.
At
And I
least
mean,
he
you could
fucking
easily
showed
look
you
this up
sources
yourself.
of
Can
What are you
I
talking
see
about?
the parameters for the control? I'm just curious.
Sure, we can do
Oh,
it.
bullshit. She does not know what the fuck she's talking about. I just would like to see the parameters for the control. Bullshit. Look at her. Her eyes are looking down at her phone right now because someone literally just told her to say that shit. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
You can pull up the U.S. Department of Labor one.
The doctor one. Could I see?
By the way, we've long since moved.
Get the
Financial
fuck out.
success
Yeah,
isn't about
I do
taking
not believe
lavish
this woman at
vacations.
all. She is actually stupid.
It can be a
Move past, but I did find that study in the Rollo Tony video, the Swedish study from several years ago about Swedish prison system. I'm not sure. We can loop back to that.
Damn,
Wait, what
dude
was
got
it? What was
crazy
it?
bags
I'm
under his
unfamiliar.
ass.
Here, I got a bunch of tabs open. Where did it go? In the meantime, here I'll send this in the Zoom chat if you want to take a look.
Oh, can you open it? Because I don't have the Zoom on my computer.
Oh, I'll
Dan
send it-
sent a link to you that I guess that's the parameters one.
That's the Department of Labor's 2019 study. There's a couple more. I guess we didn't really
What do
get to
you?
it.
I'm curious. What do you think it is? The wage gap.
Well, it's complicated, right? I don't think it's as simple as saying it's a myth and women who complain are lazy. That doesn't seem like a productive point to start that conversation. It is complicated.
What do you like? What is your solution? Like, if you seem to think that the wage gap is real, right? And that do you think women are discriminated against?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Because what barriers do women have today in 2023? Like, I just
It's
genuinely
not
don't
about
understand what's
barriers, right?
stopping you.
It's not about barriers. It's about
Honestly, when she asked that question, I was like, I'm honestly not too sure myself. So for the women in the chat, can you talk about what barriers you possibly have when it comes to like what barriers you have to overcome like in the workforce? Maybe some that aren't necessarily like cultural or race driven. Because I have no clue. I can't speak on that because obviously I'm not a woman. I don't look into this stuff as often. So this is just a genuine question.
it's about norms. It's about like patriarchy. It's about the way that we perceive the value of people. It's not about barriers. There's no laws that say women can't do this and that, obviously.
Okay, so there's no barriers right now?
No, not that I could think of.
Childcare,
Pay
expand on that.
transparency. So, I mean, I agree that in general, you know,
Because,
go ahead.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I do think that there's a bit of discrimination going on. I do think that behind closed doors, when there's no transparency in payment, this presupposition, by the way, that you putting forward that women are lazy and just making excuses, that doesn't help. Honestly, it's hard. I don't know how to explain it but I know it exists, right? I know it exists.
You think the bosses behind closed doors say we should hire less women?
No, it's not a conscious thing,
like-
right? It's systemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then do you have it? Like, do you subconsciously pay women less?
I don't think so. No.
Maybe sexual harassment sometimes, but I may be understanding the question wrong. So she asked, what barriers do women have to face in the workforce today? I have no idea. I can't really think of any on the top of my head that isn't like culturally or like race driven. I'm not sure. But I mean, of course, sexual harassment is probably up there. I don't know how often that happens. Yeah, I want Brittany to expand a little more on that because she said childcare. I don't know what she meant by that. Like, what about it? When it comes to like barriers in the workforce, what do you mean?
Okay. So
Yeah.
then wouldn't okay.
So
I'm
because
just
I don't
thinking
pay
of, like,
women
if you-
less,
if
then
you-
it does that.
Well, I'm just thinking if you think there's this like subconscious thing,
Yeah.
like then you.
Well,
I
but
would
it
think
does
have it.
exist, right? I mean, we
Maybe
can
ask
look
for,
at the
should the
studies.
women ask for raises at your?
Well, we're talking about you saying it's a myth, okay?
Yeah.
But it does exist. That's what's interesting.
I don't think there's anything stopping you today. You could maybe argue. I can't even do it in my soul. You could maybe argue like 50 years ago, but I just think in 2023, there are no barriers.
Didn't you say earlier 50 years ago wasn't that long ago?
Oh,
In regards to
Maybe
the draft?
100 years ago. Okay, fine, 100 years ago.
100
I was
years
just.
ago.
I'm saying in the past you could argue, but in 2023, I just don't think there's anything stopping you. I think it's like very much a victim mindset to tell women, like, to go up telling us that we're oppressed. Like, I think that I can do anything minus like the physical stuff, but I think I can apply for any job a guy can if I want. I can go after any job that I want. I can ask for more money if I want. And I don't think that men are out there discriminating against women. I don't think that men are, men are such capitalists. Men want to make money. It's like if women were so much cheaper, they would just hire all women.
Right. It's not how it works, but I've never claimed to have a solution, right? I'm just saying there is a problem, which you deny.
I'd also say, I grew up in a family business too. So my dad hired people all the time.
paying for childcare so that you can go to work, also having reliable childcare for days that kids have out of school, help for when your kid is sick and you have to miss work. True, but I 1000% like get that, but I wouldn't say that that's just a woman issue. Like that's not just like a barrier for women. I think that's also a barrier for men. Also, if you're a couple, But no, you are absolutely right. That is true. Like my wife and I talk about that all the time. Childcare, and it is extremely expensive. Like, it is fucking ridiculous.
And like, you had over 200 employees.
Wasn't your mom the president? Was she the leader of the company?
What was you're researching my family now, huh?
Well, that's all
No,
public.
my mom, I mean, I don't know what they titled it. Like, I don't
Your
think they
mom
really
was the president, I believe, but
Yeah,
based on an
I
interview.
mean, they might have titled it one thing or another. My mom did more of the marketing sales side. My dad did the engineering and the software.
Okay.
I think they wanted to get some grant, so I think like they might have had her, like, they did that to get some grant from the government or something. I don't remember, but
So, is that a crime?
Yeah, you
don't
probably
know.
shouldn't say that on air.
Probably not.
We can cut that out.
Parents
if
might
you
not
want.
like that.
So I guess again we're kind of hitting a wall on this topic, but what I would say is this:
but
is that I don't claim to have a solution. I'm rebutting your claim that the pay gap is a myth, because it's not a myth. It exists. I don't know how to fix it. I'm just saying it's not a myth. That's an oversimplification, and it's dishonest.
yeah, I just don't. I think most of the pay gap you can attribute, and you even agreed to this, the 77 cents to 3%, like, is very different. I think the majority of the pay gap
3%.
you can.
Oh, you mean the uncontrolled?
Yeah.
It's more than
like
3%, but I agree that it's lower. Yeah, it's a lot lower.
And even with that,
Okay,
like,
that's what I was referring to. My bad.
I just would guess there's more to it, because I just don't see.
Is there anything else you want to guess at today?
I don't think that men have this evil. I think it's silly. It's silly to think that men have this evil coalition where they just unconsciously discriminate against women.
I agree.
And
That's not what's happening. That's the over.
So Naomi, she struggles whenever she talks to other women. It's so easy because her podcast and her platform is kind of like Fresh and Fit, where they essentially invite like women who are essentially like 304s, Miami chicks, thoughts. I mean, no offense to any like woman in the chat, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of the women that they invite on, they're not educated. They're a little more, how should I say, they're sexually free. Like, it's just it's a lot of the women that they invite on, they're not scholars per se. So yeah, I don't know.
Simplification part. Speaking of coalitions, what do you think about the Jews? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know.
Yo, what do you think about the Jews? Is crazy. Why the fuck would he say that? I'm sorry, I still don't fuck with Ethan, but that was actually like really funny. Yo, hell yeah, Naomi. Yo, let's get those likes up, guys. Like the video. Good God, Jesus.
I'm just kidding.
Keep me out of
I'm
that.
just kidding. That's not a serious question. Let's talk about some of your really interesting ideas on this one here. You say men want younger women. This is something I've heard you say quite a bit.
Oh boy, I
The
loathe
person that will get me at 40 years old,
this
at 50 years
conversation.
old, is getting a different version than he had when I was 18, 20 years old.
But it's a less valuable version to men.
That's not the right man for me, because
No,
he
it's
will
not.
still value-
It's not the right man for you. It's how men can't help what they're attracted to. No, it is all men. They can't. If you survey men between the ages of 20 and 80, they're all the most attracted to 22-year-olds. I peaked 3 years ago, and you guys did too. At 20, 22, 23, and this is men between the age of 20 and 80. So what men value is purity, youth, and fertility. And so, like, what would you be able to offer to a guy?
So that's something I've heard you say. Obviously,
purity and fertility. That's what men look for. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is one of my favorite conversations to talk about because it is so stupid and they are so off the mark. They come at this they come at this conversation like all men are like very traditional, which is not the case at all.
you strongly believe that, right? That that women who are past the age of 22, their value goes down, and all men just want young girls. So I guess what's the message behind this? What is it? Who are you speaking to, and what is it that?
I mean, it's just true. Men do want younger women.
Well,
I mean,
it's not. It's not true. It is not. There's so many men. There are so many men that prefer to date older women. Like, I mean, before I got married, I was attracted to older women. It's just not true. I feel like if you don't ask red pill guys, if you go out in the street, ask, would you date a woman who is like, I don't know, let's say like 37 and up. I'm willing to guarantee that the majority of those guys would be like, hell yeah, why not? The fuck?
I want to ask you this before we get into that. What is your message? Who are you speaking to, and what is it you're hoping that they take?
Damned if I do. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to all the kooks.
I mean, I just believe in speaking about things that are true. And I think a lot of times as women, we're told that we can just wait forever, get married at 35, and have a bunch of kids, and that's just not true.
Who's saying that?
I just think it's the message that's pushed by the media and culture today. So
the media is telling women to get married at 35.
I mean, what have you ever seen? Like, what's a homemaker that's on TV?
You mean like in a sitcom, or you mean like in a
no,
show?
but I'm saying like we don't have them in the media and the culture. Like family really isn't. It's really family really isn't pushed.
It's important to have experience, which Pearl and these hardcore red pill supporters do not have. I fucking agree 1000%. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Oh man, and I already know where this like particular conversation is deviating to, because they always bring this up, and it's going to be the whole like virgin talk. And I know you guys heard me say this in my videos before. Before I got married, if you told me that you were a virgin, I mean, it wouldn't be like a total turn off, but I would have preferred you not to be, because again, I said this in my previous videos. At the end of the day, I'm not here to teach. I'm here to skeet. I'm here for a good time, okay? I don't want to be in bed fucking teaching you. That's not fun to me. No. Naomi says, I used to be a dancer, and I didn't know that, and I was way more emotionally disturbed back then. If I was on the podcast, I definitely feel embarrassed in the long run. Almost seems exploitative. It is. It is.
And so I'm not saying it to dog on women, but I just think a lot of times like we're lied to. I mean, we have men are called ageist.
I'll see you in Discord, bro.
Ageist? If they don't want younger women? You know, men are constantly shamed when they have a standard. So it's not, I mean, that's like a conversation from a 3-hour episode. I don't remember the context.
I've heard you bring it up a lot. I know that.
Yeah, because it's true. So and a lot of times as women.
You're speaking to women. You're saying past 22, your value is going down. And,
yes,
and your message,
to men, your value on the sexual marketplace. So your value, like that doesn't mean like your personal worth. I'd like to just clarify that, but yeah.
And so your message to them is nothing. You're just saying that because it's true. I mean, why not just say the sun is hot?
I mean, don't wait till 35 to get married. Get married as young as you can.
Right, get married as young as you can.
Yeah.
Now, you seem to offer a lot of advice to. Who you're mostly giving advice to women, would you say?
I wouldn't really. Okay. I wouldn't really.
Excuse me.
I guess sure.
I was about to say, because how are you going to say that you're not giving advice?
You
for sure are.
And then so men.
Like I wouldn't say I'm like an advice channel. Like do this, do this, do this. I mean, it's more
kind of
talking about the state of relationships.
She literally is a copy and paste of Fresh and Fit. Like, what are you talking about? You are most definitely an advice channel. Doesn't she have a channel called like Wife School or something?
Day is a better way that I would put it.
So, as men get older, not like super old, but their value goes up. And as a man's value on the sexual marketplace goes up, they're looking for younger, virgins, right? That's important. And so any woman who's not
Well, historically, virginity's always been a prerequisite for marriage. Like 100
Didn't I
years
tell
ago,
you? What'd I tell you?
85% of women didn't admit to premarital sex. So, you know, it's more abnormal now that women are not virgins anymore.
Do you know
I
what an
told you it's gonna
appeal
be brought
to
up.
tradition is?
Just-
What we
it's
did 100
basically
years
saying-
ago doesn't predict anything.
Well,
to do
I'm
with
saying
what
the
we do
outcomes
today.
are better for women. Like the outcomes are obviously better. We have more women on antidepressants than ever before, and it's tough.
Girl,
'Cause
shut the fuck up. Everybody is on antidepressants. Look, I got mine right here. Shit, I got. Oh wait, well I lied. These are my sleeping pills. But still, you know what? Actually, these also help for my anxiety and depression. You know why? Because when I go to sleep, if I don't take these, I think about fun shit like my family dying, my brother's dying, and just death in general, and it fucking keeps me up at night. So I have to take these. Everybody is on this shit, man. Like life is rough. You would know that if you had some life experience. Okay, I got my shit right here. The fuck.
there are studies both ways.
Naomi says it's crazy. Her subscriber to view ratio is way off nowadays. Seems like red pill content is slowly dying. But you know what? Her channel was always like that, which is weird. Most of her views actually come from her YouTube shorts, which that's how she gets her views. It's just strictly through shorts. People are not coming to like watch her content for some reason if it's not through the shorts. I don't know why.
When it comes to female happiness, but most of the ones that I've seen indicate that women are unhappy over a certain age without children, that
Right,
most
facts.
women
Thank you.
wanted to have
Everybody
kids
on this
at some
shit.
point in their life. And I just think, and you can see what happens
Just
in
over
front of you.
7,000
Like you're not
videos? That's
blind.
why.
Women are
Damn.
happier with a family.
So
Yeah.
again, you're doing the I'm not.
I got my
blind, I see-
citalopram in
I
the
see
bathroom,
this,
Taylor.
which is like again kind of an emotional argument. Antidepressants didn't
You
exist
just want to
100
call me
years ago.
emotional today. That's just your go-to today.
Well, I'm trying. It's
Yeah.
hard to have a
the
conversation with somebody who
sexism
says
that I face, the sexism I face in this country, I just get called emotional.
right.
Well, you call women emotional.
Well, it's hard to have a conversation with somebody who just says, "I feel this." You know what I mean? It's like, how do you address that in a conversation? You say, "I see this. I'm not blind." I mean, that's not really a concrete.
Well,
point to me.
I listed before that.
Let's talk
I-
about those. Antidepressants didn't exist 100 years ago. What relevance does that have on the happiness of women then and now?
I mean, we're seeing them get more and more on antidepressants.
Well, men are on
I
antidepressants
can't-
too. I think those
Well, yeah,
are
but we're not
probably
talking. We're not talking about men.
But if men and women are getting
But
on
but it's like,
antidepressants
why
at the
can't-
same rate,
why
then it
can't-
doesn't.
Why can't we have a conversation about women without talking about the men?
Because
it doesn't.
the trend.
It's like 90%. I can't answer questions if you keep interrupting me when I'm trying to answer you.
Go ahead.
That's
So
all
it's
she
like
does,
90% of
though.
women are on contraceptive or have been on contraceptives at some point in their life. 1 out of 3 women has. 1 out of 4 women have an STD. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion.
1 out
It's
of
like
3
these
women
aren't
had an abortion.
good numbers. Like, do you genuinely think that sleeping
true?
around is good for women?
I don't think.
I don't.
In my,
I think it depends on the person. Okay, I mean, look, I've said this before in my video too. I had my fun in college. Like I slept around, but do I necessarily think it was good for me? I don't fucking know. I grew up from doing it because I was able to find out like what I really liked in a partner, and that's why I married my wife. But do I think it's good for anybody to necessarily sleep around? I don't fucking know. I guess it would just fucking depend on the person. Do what you want to do. If it helps you get to where you need to be, then do what you want to do. I have no clue. That's hard to say. That's such a weird question. I don't know.
being in mass sleeping around like you're talking about like 100 plus partners isn't good for men or women.
I mean, okay, if we're
Okay,
talking
do you think
100 plus,
sleep-
no, because then STDs start to become a thing. Like, fuck no, of course that's not good.
Sleeping with multiple partners is good.
I think it's completely fine. I don't think there's an issue with women having
Do you think
multiple
it's
partners.
do you think it's good for them? Do you think it's good for
I think
women?
it depends on the
Sleep with
person and the
multiple people?
relationship.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
the
based on the
premise is
individual,
neutral.
exactly.
The premise doesn't imply, you know, people, men and women have good and bad relationships. Some benefit them, some don't.
Yeah.
overall, multiple partners, you would say good for women or bad for women?
I literally
don't know.
cannot
average-
answer that question because it makes no sense.
Yeah,
It depends on the relationships.
Okay, I thought.
But
it was
let's
just
say
me.
this. I'll answer it. I'll say I think it's good to get more experiences in life and to have multiple partners. I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's not good.
Why?
So, I
Doesn't
think
Pearl
'cause
have
it leads
multiple
to more
partners?
heartbreak.
She said she's not a virgin.
Heartbreak?
Wait.
Yeah, like women sleeping with multiple. I don't. Yeah, but that's true. But I just don't think it's the same. Women attach through
You
sex.
think it's not the same? Men attach through sex too, by the way.
Yeah, but we're not talking about men. I'm talking about women.
But you so
I don't think sleeping around is great for men either, but I don't think it's the same for men and for women.
hold on. You keep saying let's talk about women, and I just want to say,
And
if there is a communal experience, then it's worth bringing up. Like you say, more women are antidepressants, but if men are on antidepressants in the same trajectory, then that would imply that it doesn't have to do with anything to do with women being promiscuous. It's more of a societal thing that affects both genders equally.
yeah, wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
If men and women are both on antidepressants at the same rate, then that
Yeah, sure.
that would suggest something on a larger system.
Multiple partners doesn't mean sleeping around. True. Good, very good point. 5 partners at age of 25 isn't sleeping around. No, I think honestly, I think that's normal. This is the lack of nuance that these clowns engage in. Right. I think that's perfectly fine. And you know what's funny about that? Damned if I do. They would consider that to be a whore, right? Somebody that's had 5 partners, a woman that's had 5 partners, which is fucking insane to me because I really don't understand, because my definition of a whore is somebody that is constantly, sleeping with different people. Most women that are, let's say, okay, they're in their 20s, they're in college or just got out of a college. They 9 times out of 10, they're trying to focus on one partner at a time. They're not going out and just smashing as many people as they can. I don't know where these red pillars get this shit from, but this is not how most women move, like in today's society. And this is another reason why I say Pearl and the rest of these red pillars do not have like life experience, because they think this and they assume this, and I don't know why. Well, I said it's because they don't have life experience, but
Societal issue, and not because women are promiscuous. So I think that is worth bringing up.
I mean, you could argue a lot of societal issues have come from women being promiscuous.
like,
Okay.
So, I mean, you could if 85% of women were virgins 100 years ago and everyone's on antidepressants, maybe
So
it
was
doesn't
society perfect 100 years ago?
Maybe it doesn't have good outcomes for women.
Society was
What the
perfect
fuck
100
point
years
is she
ago when
trying to
women were
make here?
virgins.
I didn't say perfect, but there was more intact families, which
The
I think
life
is
expectancy was like 50 back then, just so you know.
I did not say. I don't know, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, you're saying the quality of life, things were better back
No,
then?
I said
I
I said we had more intact families, which I think is important.
oh,
Okay. Let's talk about where were we? We were talking about we were on the topic of men wanting younger women. Here, did I finish this clip?
I just learned a lot from them, so I'd love to hear this side.
Oh, this is the pay gap one. Sorry. Men want younger women. We watched this whole clip. So I was just trying to basically apply it to your life if I can. It's like, so older men, when they have money, they have status, they're going to want a younger and more virgin woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a bit of a question, and I'm being honest here. Is it possible and you look at men, right, in terms of like their viability. You look at men and say, he's a high value man, he's a medium value man, he's a low value man, right? And we could say that. We can put men into those categories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's say you're in the dating field, right? You're looking for a partner. right?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Sorry.
you're single essentially, I guess, and
Oh my gosh, just say no and move on. Oh, what do you mean by that? You know you don't have no goddamn man, stupid.
you're looking
You know you
for
don't.
a significant.
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not.
So, if you're looking for men,
Maybe if you fucking combed your hair.
if a man who is willing to settle, let's say you're not that old, but you're 26, and you say that anyone over 25 is like almost damaged goods or getting worse and worse,
No,
it's less valuable. It's less valuable.
correct. Yes, I
Yeah.
would say I was
Get her.
more valuable 5 years ago. Yes, in terms of the dating market. Yes.
So, do you think that how can somebody who's older and not a virgin and less valuable, how can they get in a relationship with a man and not think they're a loser?
Oof.
Because if you're a low value woman, then in a sense you be judging the guy who's quote unquote settling for you because he couldn't get a higher value woman. So in a sense, a guy that you would settle for would be a loser by your own.
Get her.
By your
I love how Ethan is using her own logic against her. He is basically telling her that she ain't shit to her face. It is so funny.
Own metrics,
Get her.
low value.
What are men supposed to do? 95% of women aren't virgins on their wedding days. You could be a multimillionaire and not get a virgin.
How do you?
But I think that's why I think that's why
does
you
she
seem.
really think multimillionaires do not have access to virgins? You have absolutely lost your mind. I bet a multimillionaire could put a fucking ad up on Instagram and say, I want virgins, and they would come fucking like a herd of sheep. Are you serious right now? Multimillionaires can't get virgins? Yeah, okay.
more men walking away from
We most definitely don't live in the
relationships.
same world, bro.
No. How do you
yeah.
enter a relationship and not think that he's a loser because
Fuck
he's
outta
low
here.
value?
I don't really know how to answer that
Destiny
question.
said the same
But
thing.
it is interesting, right? Because in a
Bruh,
sense,
because it's so stupid. Like, it doesn't make any sense to think that multimillionaires cannot get the woman that they want is just wild to me. So it doesn't surprise me that he also said that.
be a low value man, and I'm sorry, I'm only framing this in your worldview. Let's say a medium value man would decide to settle on somebody like you who's a little bit older, not as fertile. You are not a virgin.
We're settled.
And also,
Crazy.
I'll tell you something else. You like being in the foreground, which is not good for traditional marriages.
Tell her, Ethan.
I
She
mean,
ain't
he's
shit.
looking for
Tell her.
someone who wants to build a home. You don't know how to cook.
Yeah, I don't expect to be with
God
like,
damn.
a high value guy. I think that's silly.
Shit.
Okay. What's your
Like
expectation?
when I think of high value, I think of like top 5% of men.
So what value do you think
Very-
you'll be settling on in your own personal life?
What value will
Yeah.
I be settling on in my
Yeah,
personal?
what man do you think is reasonable for you to pursue?
I just kind of I think that's a bit of a inappropriate like question. But
That's interesting because you spend
Oh. I am taken aback. That's an inappropriate question. How? This is the same woman that went to other women on the street asking what their body count was and basically trying to expose them for being whores. Oh, really? Half of the conversations that you have on your podcast are fucking not appropriate. You had a white supremacist on your podcast surrounded by a bunch of black people that work for you. But was that appropriate? Wow. That's crazy.
like all day talking about this stuff. I find that it's really interesting to have you and put this analysis into use. Why is it
Well, because
inappropriate?
the way you're framing the question is a bit disingenuous.
How?
I think most women
How is
by,
it disingenuous?
yeah, I think it's a bit disingenuous.
Why?
How? Why?
Why? Why is it disingenuous? I'm analyzing your viability by your own metrics, which you do all day to other women and men. Why is that disingenuous?
I don't.
Let that boy cook.
Okay.
She can't fucking think of anything. She cannot answer this man's question. It is so funny. She is stuck. Ooh, all that goddamn sighing. Ooh. Starting to
Like, I
sound
think
like
it's
a
fair to
Timberland
say,
beat.
because you were talking to women about expectations and men about
Damn.
expectations based on their value. I think it's fair to say, okay, well, what's your value of man you're looking for based on your own,
What's my value to a guy that I'm
No.
looking for?
What value
No,
of
like
man?
I wish I don't know what you want me to say. Like I wish I was a virgin. You know, I should have waited.
No.
Like I don't know what. Like I don't. You know, most guys don't expect that in 2023. Unfortunately, I think men adapt to the market, but I think to say that you should just sleep around is a bit silly.
That's not what I'm
That's
asking.
not-
I'm
that's not
asking.
what he's
that you were
That's also
saying
not
that like
what
that
he
more
said.
partners is
Also-
good. I think that's a bit silly.
Okay, but
Also, I think it's silly to assume that most men want virgins. I think that's what's silly.
hold on. I'm talking about you,
like
Pearl.
that.
I'm talking about you. Your value by your own metrics is going to be not super high. So,
Yeah, it's less high than it was 5 years ago.
but it's not even just the age thing. It's like you are working. You're in the foreground. You don't know how to cook. These are not good things for your scorecard.
Hey, I'm actually pretty good now. I've gotten
You have a
gotten
cook.
lot better.
Okay,
I've
good.
gotten
You're
a lot
working
better.
towards it, but unfortunately, as you
I've
age,
started-
those
I've
things are going to
started to
bounce
cook.
out.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like you start in a certain place in life, but all you can do is improve and get better.
That's
Okay.
interesting. I agree.
That's
So, what is
that's
the
rich coming
point
from her.
of telling people that they're
Because a lot of
You
times
know,
we're like
damaged.
we're lied to. We're not even told what men want. Being told that men want younger women is like crazy, even though that's
That's
something
not true, by
It's
the way.
not true.
It's not. That's not true, by the way.
Men don't want younger women. They want
Most men typically date women around their age range. I would say most men typically date around their age range than them wanting younger women. Like it's common
who's
sense.
hotter? A 50-year-old is equally as hot as a 20-year-old, just based on looks and nothing else.
So, yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be. But like, how do you meet a guy that
That'll
you
be the most
respect
unseasoned
because
food
he's
ever,
settling on you? Don't you see that there's a paradox here?
I mean, if you respect men, you don't like.
But how are you going to settle for a low value man? Because like that, it's like, dude, come on, like
A low value man.
a low value man.
I think if you get married, you're lucky to get married.
The fuck
That's
is
my
that?
opinion.
Okay.
So I would feel very lucky. If I was married, I would feel. Very
So
lucky
you'll
to be
take
married.
anything.
No, I won't take
God
anything.
damn.
It's a bit silly.
Your
Actually,
standard.
it's considering who you dated previously. It's not that silly at all to think that you would take anybody.
I
quite
didn't
low.
say. That's not what I said, but okay.
You said I'll be happy if I get married. I don't. You know what I mean? Hey.
Yeah, I
Anybody
didn't
who
say
marries
to
me would be great.
I didn't say to anyone.
How would you? So,
But
where's your value as a woman? Would you say, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
I give myself like a 5.
A 5? Yeah, that's fair. I think. I mean, based on your metric, I'm not saying one way or the other. So we're looking
Yeah,
for.
I think I'm a 5.
So you're saying that all men want to have sex with younger women. This is kind of interesting data, but are you aware that the MILF category is like the most popular? It was the #1 most searched term in 2018.
Get her, Ethan. That is a good point. Get her.
MILF.
Yeah, men like to have sex with older women.
But why is it the most searched for?
Get her.
Yeah, it's a
They're looking
fetish,
for
yes.
MILFs, and when they watch porn.
Are you saying porn is the same thing as marriage and relationships?
You say men want to have sex with young girls. Why then are men, when they're
younger
fantasizing?
women? When you say young girls, that's a bit.
Okay, 22. I mean, what do you want me to say? Okay, young women, 22-year-olds. Why then are they going to Pornhub and looking up MILFs if they just want to, if they prefer? And this is the most searched. Wouldn't they be searching for like teen or something?
That's a
2018, yeah.
That's a very
You
good
know,
point.
men aren't that picky. You know what I mean?
No.
No. Wait. Now men aren't that picky? What are you saying?
It's not about picky. It's about preference. They looked for
Why
the
do you?
MILF.
Okay, so I have a question. Why do you think like the #1 Like they swipe right on younger women.
Oh my gosh. She is actually stupid. She is so fucking dumb. Why do you think? Matter of fact, I'll let you guys handle this. Why do you think that men swipe right on younger women? Why? Chat, why? This is the most simple answer. It's so dumb that she even asked this. I can't believe that she asked this. Exactly, because younger women are on dating apps. There are not 40 women and up on fucking dating apps. Get out of here. No, my mother-in-law is not on fucking Tinder. No, what are you saying right now? Most of the women that are on dating apps are in their 20s and maybe like mid-30s, but that's it. That is it. Everything above that is an extremely low percentage. Shout out to Taylor, because this is just common sense. She cannot be this stupid. Right? Younger people tend to use dating apps.
That's
Do you
just the thing
think
you
it's
said.
do you think it's equal, an 22-year-old versus a 50-year-old woman in terms of looks? Now I'm asking, do you think it's equal? Are you equally attracted to the average 55-year-old versus 22-year-old?
I would be more equally attracted to someone closer to my age where I am in life, I think.
What
Okay.
I also said this.
Yeah, I would
Maybe
say
like -5 years.
Damned if I do say it, finding them more attractive doesn't mean they date those women. I mean, if I guess it would depend, because if you're constantly looking at older women on Pornhub, I would say that's probably your preference. Like that's what you like. Like, and if you would want to like keep having sex with these type of women, then you would probably date them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but younger typically. Not older.
Well, I
It's
mean,
interesting
plus or
that you
minus
said
5
that.
years.
Younger.
Plus or
yeah,
minus.
younger. Right.
Plus or minus 5 years.
Okay, you said younger first,
Well,
but
I'm telling you, plus or minus.
Okay.
There's no take backsies. No take backs. You said younger. Yeah, but so how do you explain that?
Most women want to date.
Oh
most
my
women want
gosh,
to
yo,
date.
I didn't even
5
see
to
that
7
you
years.
said that. That's a good point. Salma Hayek is 56, and compare her to Pearl. No, hey,
Older. I think men go like 5 years younger.
Point.
Is there any way to explain why MILF is the most searched category?
Guys like to watch, a hot mom have sex. Yeah.
More than a young girl have sex, apparently.
Are they the top porn stars? Because I thought those were younger women.
Lisa Ann is one of the most notorious porn stars. I'm sorry, corn stars, like ever in history. Yes, to this day, isn't she? She's probably still like in the top 10 on Pornhub. I don't fucking know, but I'm sure. I'm sure. I really wouldn't be surprised.
And I thought it was like the ones that I don't actually watch that stuff, so I don't know.
I don't know
her and what's the other one's name? Lisa Ann, and there's another one that's like super popular. She's far right wing. She's a Trump supporter. What was her name? Brandy Love. That's her name. Yes, her. She is also one of like the well-known ones that get a lot of attention.
But I'm just telling you based on search that people are looking up MILF way more than teen and stuff like that. So that is interesting.
Do you think it's better for a woman to get married at 35 than 22?
I think it's
she a
neutral.
racist bitch,
I think
but whatever.
it depends on a lot of things. I do think women who get married young have a higher rate of divorce.
Yeah, it's like below the age of like 21 or 18 or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's
so that
true.
kind of disproves your thesis, doesn't it? If younger women are getting divorced,
I would say overall younger is better than older.
But if younger women are getting divorced more, and you're
the youngest, not younger. But we also wait to get married. The average age of first marriage in the UK is like 31.
Yeah, but our life expectancy is like double what it was, so it's not really a fair
but
comparison.
That doesn't change biology. Like, so when it comes to children, like women are still the most fertile when they're younger. So, we can have a cultural shift, but that doesn't change your biology.
Well, we have a scientific shift too. We have methods of making it easier for older women to have babies.
I mean, to be fair, they're very expensive.
Yeah. So like the cultural shift
Like,
is
you're talking
matching
about
the
IVF?
scientific.
You're talking
IVF,
about
it's not just IVF. There's fertility treatments you can get. I've done it with my wife. It's less invasive. It's like taking hormones and stuff.
Oh,
and,
okay.
So the
I
science.
can pull up the numbers, but the majority of IVF fails, especially over a certain age. I can pull it up.
If I remember correctly, they try like multiple eggs with IVF. If I remember correctly, and if one of them sticks, then they stick. You know.
I think it's expensive too. It's like the average IVF is like $30,000.
Yeah, most fertility treatments isn't IVF. There's less invasive, less impactful, less expensive things that you can do that are really effective.
Right.
I didn't know that.
I mean,
That's cool.
you can, but again, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford a bunch of fertility treatments.
Okay.
Like, I think that's easy for you to do, right? You're in a great position.
It should
in
be
life.
free. I
Average,
agree.
but no, I don't think that you should pay for other people's decisions. I think if you want to make that decision, you should pay for it. But I just think that's an easy thing for you to say when you're in you do such great numbers. I'm sure you do really well income wise.
Thank you for saying that. Should we shouldn't pay for what other people do. Should we pay for prisoners or should we execute them all?
Those are my only options.
I hate this conversation.
Well, we shouldn't pay
It's
for
either pay for prison or execute them.
Okay, right. That's
Either
extreme.
the two.
In a sense, though, I'm trying to make it like somewhat.
That's a tough question.
Well, prisoners cost on average like $30,000 a year. The average prisoner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or even more now.
I think
Probably
it's
like
significantly
40,
more. I think it's like closer to
45,000.
70,000 or something like that.
70,000.
Let me look it up. I'll look it up so we
That's
have the right number.
crazy. Because the IVF is obviously way cheaper than that.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we do about them?
To execute or put them in
Or what else? I mean, what would you do with prisoners? We're spending $45,000 a year. What do we do with them?
Yeah, the average is it looks like 45,000.
45,000. IVF probably costs like 10,000.
What are they in prison for? I don't know much about. This is kind of a different, topic, but I do think we should execute.
Well, they're all
rapists.
costing us the same amount of money,
Rapists
45,000.
we can
That they are.
execute, and murderers. Yeah, we can. The rest, I don't really know. I don't have a strong opinion.
Well,
but
IVF,
in
let's
general,
say, costs $10,000.
but I guess prison would make a bit more sense because you want a safe society, so that's something everybody benefits from.
I wonder what made him ask for this. I've never even heard her talk about this.
But I don't benefit if Susie down the streets waits till she's 35 to get married.
But
and
then
decides
her
to
family will be
friends.
stronger. She's less likely to get divorced. The kids will grow up
or
in a
she
stable
could-
household.
or she could do that when she's younger. Like, again, we're
Right,
always
but that's
trying to
not how it
build
works,
women.
and you know that. You look at the stats. Younger people are more likely to get divorced. Young people don't make as much money.
What
Younger
do you
people
mean
have
by-
less
what do you
time to
mean
spend.
by- What do you mean by young? So, like,
they-
I think the stat I saw was under the age of 21, but it's like above that, the divorce rate's very similar.
Do you think women under 21 should get married?
Yeah, if they want to. I think, people, I'm not forcing anyone to do anything, but I think more time you
Excuse
can
me.
spend with a husband rather than just like out on the dating market. I think that's better. I think less experience is better.
So here is an interesting regarding men wanting to sleep with younger women.
I feel like
The
we hit a
top.
wall, guys.
So I've been trying to source that figure. By the
How
way,
old is Abella Danger? How old is she?
how old is Abba?
She's
She's
27.
27. That's pretty old in your world, isn't it?
Lana Rhodes, Riley Reid.
I
but
mean,
that's
we
not
hit a
MILF.
wall because of this conversation. I'm like,
No.
Jesus
But I
Christ,
think,
I'm
and
tired.
for us, it's like 18
Lana
to
Rhodes'
28.
Lana
typically.
Rhodes is
Lana Rhodes is 26.
26. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But again,
18
the
to
most
20
searched, but like
it's 18 to 28,
just
which
because they're
is
just because they're the most popular doesn't mean it's the most
says
popular
top, it
category.
says
Also, their
it says
26 is over the hill,
I
right?
got the
Yeah.
top categories I have is ebony, lesbian, threesome.
I don't see any 22-year-old head large mainstream porn
I
stars.
mean, 22 versus 26. It's not that. Like we say 18 and 28 is a woman's peak.
20. What is the woman's peak?
Between 18 and 28. I mean, it
28?
slowly declines after like 22 or 23. It slowly declines, but
Excuse me.
18 to 28 is
And
a woman's peak.
peak as in what? What does peak mean?
Peak like looks wise.
Okay, looks.
Get the fuck out of here.
So I've been trying this claim that men between ages 20 and 80 want to have sex with 22-year-olds. I haven't been able to find any source for that. The only source I've been able to find is from this
Can we
book.
put the prisoners to work?
Say what?
They do.
Can we put the prisoners to work?
They do work.
They already
that.
do. Yeah, they
That's
do.
exactly
They're
what we do
they're
currently.
slaves already. They work for like 10 cents an hour.
Yeah, but only.
Nah,
To
Tristan, I'm
profit
talking about
private
looks-wise.
corporations, by the way. It doesn't benefit you at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good system.
You seem very knowledgeable in the prison system. I wouldn't call myself a prison expert.
Yeah, and
you
that's
know?
I
fair.
wouldn't call
That's
you an
fair. We don't
expert
need
in
to.
anything.
I don't expect you to be. So, in terms of sourcing, this claim that old men want to have sex with, not old men, all men want to have sex with 22-year-olds around that age. The only source for that I could
So
find.
they find that the most attractive.
The only source for that I could find was a book called
Can you look up
Catechism.
what's the Okay, yeah.
The way that these numbers are sourced is pretty poor. So it's not really that high quality of a source. But I'll read you the results. It does say that men 20 to 50 find 23-year-olds most attractive. But in the same study, it says, but women that men find they're most interested in are women of their similar age.
Yes, it's common sense.
But they found the 23-year-olds the most attractive.
No, that's all she
But
heard.
not the most.
How did they
desirable.
source interested in and desirable?
Also,
I think it
How did
means.
did they
okay, one that is a very good question because a lot of this stuff is very hard to source. Like how do you source any of this stuff with any of these studies? Like that is very hard. Like I don't know how the fuck you would source like something like someone being desirable. I don't fucking know. But fuck, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Ugh. We most definitely hit a wall, guys.
I think it
how did
means.
they just asked them?
The whole
I'm just-
study. Men 20 to 50 find 23-year-olds most attractive, but in the
was I
same
gonna say?
study it says, but women that men find they're most interested in
Oh, I
are
remember
women
what I was
of
gonna
their
say. And honestly, most guys that are older, regular guys, they don't necessarily want to deal with younger because of the mindset that comes with it. People usually tend to date other people within their age range because they're in the same mindset. If you are in your early 20s, you are more than likely still extremely immature. And that is, do you know how frustrating that is to deal with a super immature person? Like, fuck. That sucks, man. No one wants to deal with that shit. That's why most men will stick around their age range.
similar age.
But they found the 23-year-olds the most attractive.
But not the most.
How did they source interested in and desirable?
I think it
How did
means.
they just ask them?
The whole
I'm just-
study
I'm
is
just
pretty
curious
bad.
how
ask
they-
them. It wasn't even really a study. This was a book. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if this isn't what you got your statistics from, but it was the closest thing that we could find to the stats that you were laying out. And it did, again, it has shown that 20 to 50 men, when asked who they find the most attractive, the answers generally fall in that range, 20 to 23. However, this wasn't really a study. This was a book by the CEO of OkCupid, and he was basing all of this off of analyzing the raw data from OkCupid, and this was in 2014, so it was about a decade ago.
But they're most interested.
Right,
in women of
and they
their-
found the same
yeah.
conclusion that Ethan just pointed out, that though they may find younger women more attractive, who they are interested in dating falls generally much closer to their own age.
But if you have a better source on that, I'd love to hear it because we
Or
looked.
even if you look at dating app data, like what? Because it all starts with
That's
looks
what this
for
is.
men.
I'm about to
This is
say,
dating.
isn't
I'm saying
OkCupid
it
a
starts
dating
with
app?
looks for men. You're not going to get in the door unless you look a certain way.
Yeah,
so
women-
I mean,
men could be attractive.
there's some older women that sure, right, that look good enough to get into the door, but it starts with swiping, and that starts with looks. So if they find the 22-year-olds the most attractive,
Of
that's what you
course,
need
they're
to
going to swipe more on the 22-year-olds if that's all that's available. You're not going to see as many fucking 40-year-olds on Tinder or whatever. You're just not. Statistically, you're not going to.
get in the door first. It's not to say that every woman over the age of 30 or 35 is like done for completely, but it's going to be a lot harder. And I think it's dishonest to say it's going to be equally as easy to date when you're 35 versus 22.
Yeah, I didn't say that. You're saying men.
Men tend to, in general, like younger women.
Most attractive, but not
They're-
no.
but
most
Find younger
tolerable.
women more attractive.
That's a
But
I don't
not
think
who
it's
they're
accurate to
interested
say
Right, but
they
it
like
starts.
They're
But everything
interested.
starts. But men, it starts with looks. So you don't get into the door unless you look a certain way.
I think
Do
you're
you
making a big
disagree?
generalization about all men.
Okay, do you disagree with that? You don't think it starts?
I think
with
a lot
looks?
of men have a lot of different preferences, and I think a lot of men's consideration of what attractive has a huge variance as well.
Okay.
So when you say good looks get you
It's
in the
subjective.
door,
I mean,
attraction is pretty subjective, don't you think?
I think that it starts with looks for men.
And looks
I
is
think
pretty subjective, wouldn't
I
you
would
say?
no. I would say it's not. I would
You
say
wouldn't
men
say
tend to.
you would not say looks are subjective. Pearl, come on. You are lying. There are get the fuck out of here. There may be a small percentage of men, very small, minute, tiny, minuscule, who think you are attractive. That's their opinion. It's very subjective. Do I think you're attractive? No, because I have my own preferences, and so does everybody else. All of this shit is subjective. This goes for looks, music, movie tastes, video game. It's all the same. It's all just preference, and it's it's all subjective. Like how can you say that looks are not subjective? Like you cannot. Matter of fact, I don't even agree that there are people who are just universally attractive. I forgot who said that. I think it was Damned If I Do. I think he said something about Salma Hayek, where I think she's attractive. There may be other people that think that she isn't attractive. It's just common sense.
Find the same things attractive.
Beauty is objective.
Based on
That's
what?
an interesting take. Okay.
What's up, Ma? Yeah, I agree.
Based on
This
what?
is very odd. to find out
I would say dating app data.
Which ones?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Then stop
Ethan.
saying it. If you don't know it off the top of your head, and you cannot give me like stats, facts, figures, then don't say it. It's that simple.
One up from OkCupid said men are most interested in men of their
Good
own
point,
age.
Tristan.
Or sorry, women
Yeah,
of their own age.
it said women. They find women the most attractive at 22 or 23.
Yeah,
right?
but they
And
want to date.
My argument.
They don't want
is
to
that
date them though. They don't
my
want to date them.
argument,
Yeah, they find
my
them more
argument-
attractive.
You guys don't let me finish. Is my argument is you need looks to get in the door.
Mm-hmm.
You said that.
So like,
What does that have to do with
if
being
you find
22?
that the most attractive, men tend to find younger women more attractive.
I think you have a really.
I think it's like dishonest to say. Do you really think it's equally as easy to date for a woman at 35 versus 22?
Again, nobody said that.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay. Do you think it's harder for the 35-year-old in general?
I think there's less
boy.
options as you get older.
Yeah, of course. I think
For men
that's
too.
very
For men
intuitive.
too.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
for
men
both
too.
Yeah, but
partners.
do you think it's equal? Do you think men have less options equally as much as women?
As they get older,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, who fucking knows?
No, like, no, I'm asking your opinion.
You're asking my opinion. My
If
opinion is
women-
that it's probably
If,
similar.
wo-
Probably similar.
if women, Yeah, see, I disagree because I
Based
saw a
on what?
different dating app that the most. No, I saw a different. I think it was either OK Cupid or Plenty of Fish. I can't remember which one, but it was like the most swiped right on age for women was 18, and the most swiped right on age
Well,
for
that's
men
just
was
volume, dude. I mean, there's way more younger
50.
people on dating
Thank
apps than
you.
older
For
people.
sure.
Like if
By a
you
lot.
looked at age
Well, I mean,
distribution,
and
it'd
you
be
could.
vast majority of younger
Yeah,
people.
well,
Yeah.
and when they asked men what age they preferred to date, I think it was like 5 to 7,
I
like
think.
5 years younger was the average, and women it was 5 to.
think. Stop saying that. Give me proof. Stop. I don't give a shit. I don't give two monkey nuts what the fuck you think. Show me. Stop saying
7 years older. So even if we just go off of women's preferences, like men would have more options when they get older because women want older men.
That's all just you're just saying stuff. I mean, you're just saying stuff based on what you think is real. I don't think any of that is necessarily true.
I mean, I could find it. I mean, I don't have like a team like you guys have.
Yes,
yeah,
you
but
do.
well, you say
No,
this
but-
stuff all the time on your shows, so I would expect you to be somewhat familiar with the.
I mean, it just depends on, like, sometimes you forget which one.
Sometimes you forget
Sure.
which one. You should be fucking prepared.
You want to name a couple it could be from?
Give me a second. I'll find it.
Did you know that the number 5 porn star of all time is Lisa Ann? She's 51 years old.
And there are people that
Brandy
would knock
Love
down
is
Lisa Ann
number
to this
8.
day.
She's 50.
High volume men too.
Men they like MILFs, man. Men like MILFs. They like experienced women that know what they're doing. They like men like that.
Do you think that men want that for relationships?
Do you think men want to date a
Do you think men want that for relationships? Yes. Do you think men would date a porn star? Absolutely. I'm sure there are so many people just in these like porn stars DMs asking for a fucking Yes. Yes. Oh my god, yes. Matter of fact, one of the podcast hosts on Jake Paul's is that Jake Paul? Logan Paul, on Logan Paul's podcast. His podcast host dated a porn star for a while. Yes. Men like that shit. Believe it or not. They don't care. Some people genuinely don't care. Would I do it? Not necessarily, but some men just genuinely do not care. What are you talking about?
child for relationships? Because they're more attractive
I think men prefer younger women in general.
in relationships.
Yes.
That's just I'm sorry, but that's not even backed up by your own data. It says
I
men
would
are
say
more
younger than them typically.
younger than them. That's a different. That's not men want to date 22-year-olds. A 50-year-old
They're
doesn't.
the most attracted to 22-year-olds, and looks gets you in the door.
Yeah, but it doesn't
just
get you in the door. That's just step
you're
one.
You're saying different things. In this culture, if a man is walking around with a
There is
22-year-old,
two out of
people
the-
are gonna think that's weird. People think
two
it's
out
weird.
of the 5. It says 2 out of the 5 top porn stars in Pornhub are 23 and under, and all of the people that you're listing started young.
Oh, so they're old now.
Still
Yeah,
popular.
they built their fan base.
I don't think it really works that way.
But they're old. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be
How do
hot.
you not
They're
think it
old.
works that way? You guys are in media. You know damn well that you build a fan base
Bro,
over
what do you
time.
think? They're YouTubers. They're not doing Minecraft Let's Play. They're naked.
How about that?
Come on.
I don't find that analysis very interesting, and apparently you don't either because
Sweetie Fox 22.
yeah, there's
Eva,
porn stars who are 22.
Yeah, of course.
The majority are younger.
But sir,
Yeah, but not the
I'm
popular
sorry,
ones.
ma'am. My bad. I didn't mean to. I
Milf.
The
I
most
promise.
popular ones
Milf.
are younger. The
Let's-
most popular ones are younger.
No, the most popular ones.
They're like in
old.
late 20s. You know.
My dog's barking. 1 second. I'm gonna be quiet. Sorry. I let her outside. It's kind of hot in here.
I wanted to ask you.
The number 1 porn star is 23.
Who?
It's either, let me see, it's
Why are you saying this and you don't know who you're talking about?
Who's the number one?
it says,
I just don't think it
says the
really
number one porn
refutes either
star on
point.
Pornhub is 23.
Who?
Eva Elfie is 23.
She's not number one.
What I'm
Right.
seeing is number one.
I don't.
But even if that's true, I don't think that refutes anything. I mean, it's possible that number one is 23, but,
But you said,
she's
but you
not
just
number
said
one.
it, you just said it.
No
You just
way.
said it refuted it if that the number one search was MILFs.
Right. Well, it counters your argument. Okay, let's move on. There's just argument in circles here. I want to talk about this a little bit more. Higher body count
They
doesn't.
said the 2018 poll, citing a 2018 poll, and the 2022 numbers show that the MILF drops.
The MILF
Reflect-
drops, but
He's
it's
citing a 2018 poll, and the 2022 numbers show that the MILF drops.
top 5 most searched. Number one in UK, Southern Asia,
We
Canada,
did say
Netherlands.
that it was 2018.
Yeah, the 2018
Yeah, but I'm
one.
saying it says the 2022 one that dropped.
Oh, so men became less interested in older women in the last 5 years. I guess.
I guess so.
Well, this
Right,
year,
Well,
MILF,
hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, go ahead,
sorry,
Olivia.
MILF was number one search term this year in the UK, Southern Asia, Canada, and Netherlands.
Yeah.
And
Men
it
love
was in the
MILFs.
top 5 most searched for terms in Paris, Italy, Mexico, Spain, Poland, Ukraine, Argentina, Sweden, and Belgium.
God
this
damn,
year.
that's a
And
lot.
Lana Rhodes is number one, and she's 26. But whatever, who
Really?
cares?
I'm
Let's
seeing
move on.
that? Okay.
I disagree. Listen, I disagree. There's not a lot of data on this. Like, there's really no data to make a conclusion. So again, I just don't think it's fair for when you talk about these things to say, oh, science says this, data shows this, but there's no data that shows any of that.
Right.
I mean, it's just, again, you feel that way. You feel
we
that
just
to
talked
be true.
about we just talked about that men find 22-year-olds the most attractive.
Yeah,
so
but
you
not
can
the most-
interpret, you can interpret the data differently than me. That's fine. Like we can
It's
interpret
not really
the
data. That was
we
some
can
random blog
interpret-
from
we
a
can-
book.
We can. I mean, there's also dating app data, and then you guys interpret
this
it
is.
differently than me. We can interpret it differently, but and you could
No.
come to one conclusion.
Let,
I could come
us
to another,
agree.
but-
Let's
but-
agree to disagree on this one. So tell me, we didn't really get to flesh this out, but I find this topic interesting. Why is a woman with a high body count, and high, I guess, is like 10 plus? What is high?
Well, it depends. Depends what guys you ask. You know.
In your opinion.
Your opinion, yes.
I mean, in my opinion, I really think it's best to be a virgin when you get married.
That's not
So
what the fuck he asked you. What is a hard body count? Answer the fucking question. What is a hard body count?
I didn't do that. I wish I did, but I think it's best to be a virgin.
Okay, but like, what would you consider a high body count, if in general, when men are?
BetterHelp has made therapy more financially
yo, this is Rolo
accessible
Tomasi all
because
over
there are
again.
different
Oh
tiers.
god, I'm about to be
Are
crazy.
looking, considering such a thing.
It seems like the body count studies that I've seen, it drops around like 5 to 7.
5 to 7. Okay, so
5 to 7. Fuck out of here. That's high.
So what is inherently less desirable about a woman with 5 to 7 partners?
I mean, one, what value does that bring to a guy?
Well, it's
Experience.
neutral.
Yeah, I mean, I just think
I asked you what devalues it, not what values it.
What devalues it? I think that you have more exes to compare your current partner
Oh,
to.
so it's insecurity.
I was about to say that's super insecure. You have more access to compare your partner to. So the fuck what? Who the fuck cares? I could care less. What are you talking about?
So you would be
if you
insecure.
want to label it that way, but it's like, why would you want someone with more exes?
What difference does it make?
5
and
to
also,
7 sex.
just because you have a certain amount of bodies, it doesn't mean they were all exes. What are we talking about? It could have been somebody that person was just talking to briefly, but the relationship just never got there. Like, what are you saying?
Mutual partners means that there's too much to compare me to, and therefore you might think that I'm inadequate because you've had better partners.
Well, it's also like the rate. Women are happier when they're virgins on their wedding day. So
That is just something you said.
That is just something you said, yes, because how can you like, what are you talking about? Just stop saying this shit without giving evidence. Stop.
no, look, I mean, you can look up the studies on body count. I can.
Yeah, we can fact check that. It just seems like something you just say.
It's like from the Family Institute, something in Family Institute.
Okay, but so while we look that up, let's say so women are happier, but
The more sexual partners a woman has, the less happy she tends
but I'm
to be
asking
when
you,
married.
what is less attractive? Because you talk about men are looking for women who have had less sexual partners. So what is less attractive? What makes them less attractive?
What makes them less such? Men don't want hoes.
What do you mean by
Men
that?
don't want.
Why is it that having 5 to 7 partners, why are you labeled a hoe? A hoe is somebody who is sleeping with a lot of men at the same time. Just because they slept with 5 to 7 people, that doesn't mean they were sleeping with these people consecutively. What are you talking about? Good God.
Men don't want women that have slept with multiple
She
people.
probably
We're
has
talking about
one
5 to
body.
7 partners.
I'm
Why don't
not
men
judging
want
her for it, but
hoes?
she probably just has one.
Do you want a woman with a lot of bodies?
5 to 7? I don't consider. I think that's totally.
I think
black.
that's
Well, I
low.
think most men would, pray for that nowadays. But
What do you
in
mean most
general,
men
you
would
want-
pray for it? Because the number I looked up is 10% of women there's only 10% of women in the United States have more than 15 partners. The average number is 4.2.
Did that study was for women? It included older women too, though, didn't it?
25 to 44.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I just think it would probably be more accurate if you kept women under like 35. But
What difference would it make?
So what makes a hoe?
I don't-
What does a hoe mean?
Ethan is asking
I mean,
all the right
it
questions.
depends on who you ask.
I'm asking you, clearly.
What do I think? I mean, from a historical perspective, really a virgin. Like, I think you should be a virgin on your wedding day.
Oh my fuck, my G. Answer the fucking question, you redheaded fuck. Please answer the question.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Well, what's that have to do with men being attracted? You said men don't want to date hoes. I just want to unpack that.
Mm-hmm.
Men don't want to date hoes.
What is a hoe?
I don't know what that means, if I can be totally honest with you.
Men would prefer a woman with less sexual experience than more.
Oh, less?
just
Well,
not
so
true.
I gotta disagree with you. I just don't think that's true. I don't think
Okay.
men care. I don't think men care how many sexual partners their women have had, unless it's like 100. But that's true of men. Men who have had 100 sexual partners are also pretty.
Do you think women care about Drake's body count?
Why?
Like women,
Oh my God,
want
you do
women-
not just bring fucking Drake up. It's fucking Drake. Of course they don't care. What are you talking about? Why are you going to use this super extreme example? A lot of women would sleep with Drake. They don't give a shit about his body count. Like, what are you saying?
want to sleep with Drake and like other celebrities. Do you think they care about their body count?
Fucking
Are we
Drake.
talking
But men
about
don't-
Drake, or are we
men aren't
talking about
lining up,
general
but-
pop? I mean, Drake's a celebrity. you know what I mean?
Men aren't lining up to date like.
But she says
Lana
not to argue
Rhodes,
exceptions,
Mia Khalifa,
exactly.
and like actually
You
marry
fucking
them.
crazy? Dude, are you crazy? Do you really believe that? Dude, men would, there is quite literally.
There are
people
men
would-
that would literally give their
Come
life
on.
to do that.
You can't believe that.
Wait,
Yeah.
What did she
Yeah.
say?
You think they care about their body count?
Are we talking
But men
about
don't- men
Drake, or are we
aren't
talking about
lining up,
general
but-
pop? I mean, Drake's a celebrity.
But men aren't lining up to date like Lana Rhodes.
You are lying. I'm not even gonna address because I just said this. I was just talking about this. You are fucking crazy. Men are absolutely lining up to date these women. You are crazy.
Mia Khalifa and like actually
You
marry
fucking
them.
crazy? Dude, are you crazy? Do you really believe that? Dude, men would, there is quite literally.
There are
people
men
would-
that would literally give their
Come
life
on.
to do that.
You can't believe that.
Yeah.
Cammy, that's okay. See, that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't blame you for that.
Yeah.
You think the
men
men
would
with the
die for
most
that.
options, that's what they want to do.
Men with the most options want to do what?
We're not talking about men with the most options. Are you talking about women with the most options when it comes to Drake?
Yeah, but Maroon, that's
Or are you just
crazy.
talking about average fans?
Even with those negative connotations, like men will still date them. It's so
I'm talking
wild.
about
But you're
Drake
right.
does not have a problem getting laid because of his body count. I would imagine that
Right.
porn
That's
stars
not-
would have
yeah.
I would imagine that porn stars would have a hard time getting into marriage with a man that they respect and admire.
Aren't you
Didn't
the
Riley Reid just get married?
one that's always been like, let's not talk about fringe cases? What's the point of
Wasn't
bringing
it her
up
that just
Drake?
got married?
That's like the most extreme example. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, we could even go into like normal dating. I think it's
That's more
silly.
important. Yeah,
Yes.
let's
Like
do
this
that.
is I just think it's silly to argue that men want to date women with high body counts.
No, they don't want to. I'm saying I don't think it matters.
Yeah, they don't give a
Especially
fuck.
the number you gave me,
Care
5
one
to
way or
7.
the other,
Yeah,
yeah.
5 to 7. I don't think men care about that in general. I just don't.
I mean, you could argue like
Ooh.
15 to 20, 25. Like I don't know.
Ooh. It's kind of weird bringing up a corn star that might get a ring before a pearl. Yikes.
Know exactly
Good
what point, but usually there is a point for most men.
Sure,
it's
and
like-
women. I mean, and women. I don't think women want to date someone who's like slept with.
I just don't think. I don't think it's equal.
It's not equal, because Drake.
No, not because of Drake.
Because we should remove like celebrity and outside kind of influences from this, because that obviously creates unusual, fringe cases, which we don't like. We don't like to talk about those.
Taylor, that's
Oh,
facts.
so then what about the
That
abortion
is
one
I was just
earlier?
parroting.
facts. I've always asked about STDs before I even asked about. I've never asked about body count because I don't give a damn.
Yeah, I was just
thought you
kidding.
liked.
I was
thought.
just kidding. I was just joking. Yeah. All right, one last thing. I see that we're getting exhausted here. It's fine. Drake saying, "I want a girl with a future and a past." That's a lyric of his. He wants an experienced girl. Even Drake's talking about it in his damn lyrics. Drake doesn't want a virgin.
You just said no celebrities. That's crazy how you just threw that out the window now.
You don't want to talk about it. Drake wants a girl with a future and a past.
Oh, stop. His simp pandering music to women. He makes money off of that.
Oh,
women
I'm
are
sorry. Just like you make money pandering to the goddamn. I'm sorry. I just heard somebody scream like in my apartment complex. What the fuck? Just like how you make money off of the simps, off of YouTube. Like you are constantly like you're a grifter for Red Pill. Like what are you saying right now? That is so funny. Isn't that the kettle calling the
like come on.
black.
All right, let's talk about
Drake
one
also
last
seems
thing.
like a creepy, probably. Yeah.
And I do thank you
The
for
pot
being here. You
calling the
know,
kettle
it's
black.
combative,
Sorry.
but
Whatever
I
to say
think
it
it's a
is.
good
I'm so fucking
conversation.
tired.
I wanted to ask you about one last thing. This comment.
On
I
God,
thought
I
was
asked you to pull up my
interesting,
chart.
and
That
tell
is so
me,
funny.
what you think about it.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder
Texting my wife
or the
because I
guy
don't
who
know
made
who's
Roots
fucking
said I
screaming.
wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was right, but they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So, in what way was slavery made to seem more horrible than it was?
Wait. Who?
Wasn't horrible, it was right, but they want to make
Oh,
it sound
this clip.
similar to the.
You don't want to talk about it. Drake wants a girl with a future and a past.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
stop. His simp pandering music to women. He makes money off of that. Women are like, come on.
All right, let's talk about
Drake
one
also
last
seems
thing.
like a creepy, probably. Yeah.
And I do thank you for being here. You know, it's combative, but I think it's a good conversation. I wanted to ask you about one last thing. This comment I thought was interesting, and tell me what you think about it.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was right, but they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So, In what way was slavery made to seem more horrible than it was?
Just say
We were talking about. I don't really want to go into this too much because we're kind of past this.
You said it.
But I was quoting a Thomas Sowell book.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
Who's that?
Yeah. So Thomas Sowell's an author who talks about the history of slavery. So.
Thomas Sowell. Oh, so do you agree with that premise that slavery was embellished, or no?
I think that
she's scared shitless to talk about this.
There are parts that are under embellished, and there are parts that are over embellished. I think it just depends what we're talking about.
That's so interesting. I've got to know what was over embellished about slavery.
Ethan.
Just like one example, I'm dying to know.
Look, this man is so excited to talk. First of all, I think it's funny that he's talking about this because Ethan said the N-word so many freaking times. I mean, it's like comfortably too. It was one of the reasons why I can't stand him, but it's so funny that he's asking this because he was like, I gotta know which parts did they embellish? Please let me, because he knows that she obviously doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah, I just rather. I mean, I was talking about a book that I read, and I think to understand the context, you'd have to read the book.
But you just said some parts were embellished, some parts were under embellished.
I just again.
Are you retracting that?
I'd really just rather not.
Yeah, because you agree with every fucking guest that you have on, and you were dumb enough to agree or like pander to fucking Nick Fuentes and talk about slavery, you fucking moron. That's why you don't want to talk about it, because you're stupid and you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay. Dude, no, but slavery being embellished, that's so
it's a wild
interesting.
claim.
I don't know how you embellish it.
There are certain facts that we're not allowed to talk about.
Like what? I would love to. We're doing the taboo. We're mixing it up. It's red pill, baby. Let's see the world as it is.
Taboo topics.
I genuinely want to know how it's embellished.
Yeah.
What can't we talk about? Come on.
Because she got her.
I mean, I could show you the video I was quoting, but it's just I'd rather not get into this. So.
She's checking her phone.
Sounds like a blue pilled attitude to me.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this was like a good faith interview.
Wait, what's bad faith?
Whoa. Hey, wait. What's bad faith about it? What's bad faith about it? You said this publicly. So why can't I address it? What? How is this bad faith?
I'm literally showing you clips of you saying stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What about this interview has been bad faith?
I just think you're kind of trying to push an agenda, and you're not.
How?
Yeah, I just think you're trying to push.
That's a clip of you saying that. You can disavow it. That would be super easy to say I was wrong.
Full interview where I'm quoting somebody. Like if you watch the full interview, I am quoting somebody, and now you're trying to pin me down about a topic that I don't dive into.
Hold on.
So it's
you were comfortable enough to dive into it when you had a white supremacist on your podcast.
Hold on.
That's not the point of my channel.
Okay,
the point of my channel isn't.
Those goddamn reaction videos.
How is that bad faith? Hold on, let me see.
Okay, because I was talking about how the founder of the Thomas Sowell talks about how the guy that made Roots talked about how it was a myth for his people to live by. Okay. That's what the guy who made Roots said.
The story. I don't necessarily think he means the depiction. The story of Roots. The story, sure, but the depiction, probably not.
That Alex Haley.
Okay.
So, and I can't even talk about that on a podcast without being canceled by the internet.
Yeah, but mythology, myth doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie, right? Just because mythology is like a culture,
right, but
a
I'm
history.
saying that doesn't mean the way it's depicted in the movie was how it actually happened. And that's what he was talking about on the book. But again, I was quoting a book, and you're trying to like pin me down on quoting a book.
Let me watch this again and see if I'm doing that.
Stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by.
Yeah.
So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish.
Then you say, but here's what they do.
and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible.
Right, but they want to make it like more horrible.
But they want to make it more horrible.
That they can control people.
So that they can control people.
Right, but
Nick
5
Fuentes
minutes,
agrees,
But
by the way.
wait, oh my gosh. 5 minutes before I say Sowell talks about this in his book. So I'm communicating in the interview that I'm
No.
quoting an author.
You're not being honest.
Like,
At all.
You say they do this to. Okay, so you disavow. Just disavow it then. That's easy. Just say I don't think slavery was embellished. I mean, that's super easy. That's like a layup.
But she won't, because if she backtracks, she's going to lose her audience.
Do you know what I mean? It's like just
I
say you don't think
there-
slavery was embellished.
I think there are certain facts that you're not allowed to talk about. I don't really want to talk about it today.
But that roots was what is a myth?
I again, there are certain facts you're not allowed to talk about, and I don't really feel like getting into it today.
Thomas Sowell compared Barack Obama to Adolf Hitler. Do you like that analogy?
I don't even know who this is, but Jesus Christ, this is the person that she quoted on her podcast. Are you serious? He equated Obama to Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was seeking a mass genocide of the Jewish people. How are you going to equate him to Barack Obama? But this is the person that you are quoting. What are you saying?
That's the author you're quoting. Do you think that's a fair analogy?
That's
or
a
no?
quite one-sided way to write his whole work, but he wrote like 100 books.
Oh, I'm just asking you, do you agree with that statement? Barack Obama is comparable to Adolf Hitler.
Wow. Wait.
No?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
See, it's not
It's
hard.
not
It's not
hard.
hard. That's awesome. That's easy to do.
Why did it take her
You
so
also
long?
said George Washington was viewed from his slaves like a father. I guess that's part of what the what the myth, I guess, is that not all slave owners were
yeah.
evil.
Guys, I'm
Some
starting doing
were
that in all of my
father figures
videos.
like George Washington. Did you say that?
I don't remember.
I'll pull
I
it
think
up.
like if someone's a great and powerful man in history to the point like they're talking about him hundreds of years later, he didn't have any kids. But like,
Didn't he own slaves?
what?
Did he own slaves? George Washington.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, no romance to me. I'm just saying.
No, it's actually interesting. He had a different, like he inherited his slaves.
Oh, that
and
makes
it
it better.
wasn't as simple as he could have just like let them go because the debt that's incurred on them, like you can't just release them. And so his slaves actually, like he had a really good relationship with them and they considered him like a dad.
Yo, why y'all ain't tell me she said that? Why y'all didn't see? This is why you need to join the Discord. Join the goddamn Discord so you can share information like this. Why you ain't tell me she said that? What the fuck? Oh, she's so stupid. Wow, she really said that, huh? Wow.
What's your source for that?
That was from a Thomas Sowell book.
Shit. Yeah,
Thomas
stop quoting
Sowell.
this
So
guy.
he's your guy. Thomas Sowell's the man. Thomas Sowell wrote a column about supporting segregation in public schools. George Washington.
You want me to apologize? Like, you want me to talk about every single one of this man's opinions?
No, I
but
just
this
want
is
you.
the person
I
that
just
you're
want to know what you
quoting.
think. Do you think racism was embellished? I mean, it's so easy. I mean, just say no.
I think okay. There was a
Why do you
time
have to
where I
think?
started to read accounts from actual slaves. So these were
Okay.
like in like and I can't really talk about this. Like even if I talk about this now, they're gonna clip it. They're gonna say things I didn't say.
Whole 5-course meal.
But
You-
it's like
you did say this.
I used to read actual slave accounts, and I was surprised how many didn't say bad things about their owners after they were free.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say like slavery was a horrible institution, but I can't talk about that fact without getting canceled.
Yes, you can.
I can't say, hey,
You can easily talk about slavery without getting canceled. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It's just when you say stupid shit without, like, how I can't even come up with an example. Like, I guess I'm sorry. This is just so funny, but there is a way that you can talk about this topic without getting like canceled or basically getting bad press. It's actually very easy.
Slaves had a good relationship with their owners
Because
without
it's
getting
not
canceled.
true. Because it's just not true.
Yeah,
It's not true.
So, in that comment right there, super irresponsible. Some slaves had good relationship with their owners. My G, a lot of that was just like survival tactics. Like, why would you be a dick towards your slave owner? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to get lashes. You don't want to get your goddamn. Like, it's just common sense.
What George Washington was not a father figure to his slaves.
Well, if you look up like I think it was Booker T.
47. Let's see. 47 of George Washington's slaves tried to escape. Would you try to escape if you
Okay,
loved
well
your master?
maybe that.
Recently,
And this
for
man
no reason
is
at all, I asked
cooking
Mint Mobile's
her
legal
right
team
now.
if big wireless
God
companies are
damn.
allowed.
One was wrong. I don't know. This was like
okay.
a little bit on a podcast months ago. I don't really remember, but and I said I wasn't sure if it was Washington either in that interview at some point. But
Well, George
the whole
Washington
point I'm
was.
bringing up is I'm not even allowed to have this conversation without.
What do you mean not
people
allowed?
banning me.
That, but I mean, we're giving you the
I
platform.
mean,
We're giving you the platform since you were perceived a certain way. They are giving you the platform to clear some sort of like preconceived notions about you up. Okay, clear it up. If that's not what you think, if you think something differently, if you are getting taken out of context, clear it up right now. You have the floor. Clear it up. But she can't because she's too stupid. And she doesn't at the same. Okay, so she's stupid on one point, and then on the other point, she doesn't want to lose her audience and like backtrack. So she's really stuck in like a weird place right now. But God,
months
man,
of
this is so
backlash
funny.
for this. I'm now like you guys are kind of trying to do a gotcha moment.
No. I didn't know about the
It's
backlash.
like, you know,
I
I'm
promise.
not really.
I didn't know about the backlash. I promise I didn't.
I had months.
I just want to
and
know what you
months,
think.
Like I had months of people like it's like if I have this conversation, I had months of people calling my employees slaves. Like that's what they call like.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's a little funny. But my question is, what the fuck did you expect? You had a whole white supremacist on your podcast around black people. What did you expect? Okay, Jesus.
That's horrible. Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah,
That's
that's terrible. But Jesus
Horrible.
Christ.
But at the same time,
And like
What did you think
even
was
the
gonna
guy,
happen?
and you know this because you watched the video of that guy.
Mhm.
The reaction you just showed, like you're acting oblivious, so I didn't know that, but you do know that because
what?
the reaction you just watched was my former co-host who insinuated that my employees were being colonized.
oh, I didn't
Like,
know that. I
yeah, and
promise.
so
I
that's
just
a
wanted to
clip
get your
from
take.
there.
Well,
So,
people say I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on this. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not like my channel isn't about slavery. That's like a fringe.
I know.
comment.
I want to know
But
about
it was something that you talked about on your channel, so we want to bring it up. Ethan, stop bullying me. Ma says I want to help Pearl out with her merch. I don't know. I don't remember. Did I say that? I read it in the book, but I don't remember the book. Her quotes on her merch would fucking go crazy. It'd go bananas. So many quotes.
But I'm asking, like, why are you bringing this up when that's not really what my channel's about? It's like you're
I can
just
only
picking
ask you
out- you're
things that are
picking
about.
out-
This is interesting. I want to ask you about it. Why do I can only ask you things in a confined space about your channel?
You can, but you understand how that looks to me. It's like you're just trying to pick out every single.
Listen, Pearl, to
content.
be
Thanks for
fair,
joining, Tristan.
to be totally fair, you could just say, I don't think slavery was embellished.
Like you were
Like,
just
that's
talking
super
about, you
easy.
research, like,
It
That's a layup for most people.
But the fact that you aren't saying that means that you think that slavery was embellished.
I was quoting a book. That's the crazy part. I was quoting a book.
And you still can't say it.
So do you
it's like,
agree
I
with his statement, though?
Do I think overall it was embellished? Some parts, sure.
What
It is.
parts?
Which parts?
Some parts.
No, please tell me which parts.
I
Just
think-
tell me.
I think that you can't. I think that certain slaves had good relationships with their owners. Not all, maybe not most, but I think some did.
And that just
And there are accounts of them saying this.
So some slaves had good relationships with their masters. Therefore,
And
slavery was
this is what
embellished.
you know how this is gonna go for me. Like, I don't know why you're doing this. You know I can't have this conversation without them.
Should I make a video like just basically of this stream of like this specific part right here where they're talking about slavery? Should I entitle it just Pearly Things Races Confirmed and have this clip of her right here with the KKK head on her head?
Painting it a certain way.
Well, just own it then. Just do it. Just say what you want. You know what I mean? Just be red
I should
pill.
have asked you guys. You got some terrible influences. I should not have asked you.
About it. Who is they? I don't know who's they. Just your haters or someone?
The left.
The left.
Do they have parentheses around the they? Just wondering.
Like, I mean, you even came in, like, you researched, like, my family. Like, that's weird.
How's that weird? It's all
knowledge, you stupid. It's public knowledge.
public. It's stuff you talked
Like,
about. You literally talked about it. It's called preparation, which you clearly done none of.
I didn't.
Like, you
talk
literally
about if
do
my
no
mom-
preparation, and you talk
about.
like.
I
Dude.
didn't talk about if my mom was the president of like the company.
Where did we
You
find
would
that?
Find that on their website.
I just looked it up. I said I googled who
Yeah,
are your
but that's
parents, and it popped right up.
Is that
They're
what
famous. They're relatively famous.
I didn't send a
He has
private
interviews
investigator.
on YouTube. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't send a private investigator to your house. I just did a little bit of research.
Public information.
Like, let me bring facts about your parents to
You
this interview.
dude, you knew you were coming to talk to me for weeks.
Could have easily done that.
Like, I
you're
know,
welcome
but I
to.
thought we were talking about the issues, not like
That
my
is an
family.
issue.
We didn't talk about your
My
family.
family.
I was
yeah,
not-
I mean, you were even implying earlier.
First of all, it is relevant that your mom is the president when you're
Bro,
talking
but
about.
you didn't know any of the backlash I got.
Well, who cares? You said it. Just own it.
No,
Be red pill.
I'm asking. You didn't know any of the backlash
I didn't.
got.
I didn't know about it.
No idea. Even though you got that from a video that my ex co-host made about me.
Right.
See, like, this is dishonest. It's not honest.
But
To be
what's
fair,
the problem?
Ethan
You're
most
getting-
definitely knew about that shit. He knew about that shit for sure, 1000%. Honestly, he needs to like own his shit too. He needs to stand in it. I've been like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Because she wouldn't have anything to say after that. What's up, Eisen? You missed a lot. You missed a lot.
Backlash for
You're gonna have to
for
rewatch.
something that
No,
you
but,
think.
but I'm
that
saying,
you think.
so you're like,
You
you're
think
not
that. You brought your parents up when you were talking about hiring people, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think it's a bit disingenuous.
You talk about your parents all the time. You talk about how your dad is rich. You did a tour of his whole barn with the bowling alley and fucking recreational
Did.
stuff in it. Like, why am I not allowed to
But I'm
talk
saying,
about
like, you even just said that you knew. Like, because you got that clip from
Okay, who cares?
We're not here to protect your reputation.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
We
Let's
don't
say
care.
I didn't know about it to the extent that it was such an issue for you, but let's just say it was. I mean,
I do have to go though because I have a show coming up.
Rage quit.
okay, let's just end on this note.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery was embellished because some masters had good relationships with their masters. Some slaves had good relationships with their masters.
All right.
But don't you see how easy it is to just say, I don't think it was embellished?
This
I don't
is-
think
Or
it's a
if you think that, stay in it. Own it. If that's what you think.
You guys act just like Abba and Preach.
Like,
you
Pearl.
act just like them.
Wait, Pearl, I don't think it's a secret that some masters had good relationships with their slaves. I don't think that's a secret. There's been a whole diverse.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on, but I'm gonna go. Thank you.
George.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate you. Okay.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
She hung up.
Whoa.
I just don't understand why you can't.
She was panicking at the end there. Holy shit. Okay.
Yes.
First of all,
Wow.
I genuinely did not know that it was such a sore point for her. I mean, it is a crazy thing to say.
I mean, she gets backlash all the time for all the things that she says. Why is that one so off limits?
That I don't know.
I mean, I can guess because it's fucking insane.
Because it's fucking insane.
But
literally.
like I mean, yeah, that's. But
I'm gonna let the children out of.
you know, I tried to nail her down on things as I do here, but ultimately,
the fuck?
Chat, you're free.
Dude, I've been wondering what the fuck that noise is the whole time. I could not pay attention because I just heard crunching.
There's a lot.
All
What the fuck?
When the
We don't have to go into this any further. Jesus Christ. Ah, boy. But we did it, guys. I got through it. 3 hours of this BS. I am tired. Thank you so much for watching. For those who have been here the entire time, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the content. You guys don't know how much that it really like means to me. You probably won't even know. You don't know this, but you guys have helped me out. I mean, hell, you guys helped me pay a goddamn bill this month. So shout out to everybody who supports the channel. Thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do me a favor and subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a video out of this. I feel like now that I said that, I'm most definitely and probably gonna use that title. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I'm going to get so many of her fans pissed off. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But yeah, I hope everybody, you know, for those that have fathers, you know, get to celebrate Father's Day. Sorry for the people like who obviously can't celebrate if their fathers aren't present, whatever, yada yada. Yeah, and just thank you guys again. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next video. And also, one more time, join the Discord. Join the Discord. Like, we talk so much in there. We pretty much talk about almost anything and everything in there, just random shit too. So I'll put it in the link one more time. Join the Discord. Trying to start like a bigger community over there too. That's the link. So yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Ma. Thank you. I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Zay? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. But thank you so much. I appreciate you, Tristan, FFC. Thank everybody. I thank everybody that came in here. I saw Juju pop in for a second too. And Mike, of course. Thank you so much.